What's going on? I am Nando.
And I am DJ.
And I'm Diggins. Who's coming?
Oh, and this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo! This
week, it is exciting to be here.
Everybody's coming.
Nobody, apparently. If you spoiler alert for the movie, 0. Which makes me think it was a direct reference to what that sounds like, because they kept it out of the kids' movie, you know? They were like, well, obviously we don't want him to say that, because when he says it in the movies, it's a sexual thing. And that would be wrong for the kids' movie. Maybe. I don't know. There were a lot of options, too. A lot of bits where characters were leaving him, like, right up for one. Just, hey, Optimus, don't you want to say your classic thing? And he didn't say it. But, yeah, we're going to talk about Transformers 1 this week. The movie of the week, kind of. Before that, though, we got to talk about 2 other big things of the week. First one, Lady Gaga is making a concept album called Harlequin, you guys.
Oh man. Is it a companion piece to the movie, yep. Would you say?
Comes out tomorrow, so it's 27th, so it'll be out by the time this podcast goes out, so you'll know, listener, if it has taken the world by storm and stuff. People are rioting in the streets, but yeah, it's a companion to Joker Folie à Deux. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, do you think everyone who listens to it will get Joker-fied and realize that we live in a society?
Or will we get Harley-fied and realize that Joker is cool or whatever she thinks in this? I don't know.
I'm sure those are her deep thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, what if all the songs are just like all her old songs, but with Joker in them?
Oh, Gaga's version? Or Harley's version, actually.
Harley's version. Yeah, nah.
Is this supposed to be her first album in a while, right? She hasn't released an album in a minute.
Has Harley or you know what?
I have no
Couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Like the last one was Star is Born, but that's not exactly.
That was also a concept album based off of Joker, because he's a star.
That's right. That's actually how she ended up getting hired for Joker 2. She made A Star is Born, a concept album based on Joker 1. And Todd Phillips was like, wow, you get it.
Mm-hmm.
So she released an album in 2020, Chromatica.
Sounds like somebody would be in this movie.
Boy, I did not know this existed. But, okay.
Well, I bet there's a lot of people that are like, loved it. Although, I feel like when those hit, they hit. And I don't remember that either. What was it, right before COVID or something? Say when?
It was like, May of 2020. So
so that probably didn't help.
Yeah.
And it didn't save COVID either. That was probably right around the Imagine. What was the Imagine video about COVID? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember either.
Right?
I think it was, yeah.
So that was probably all we were talking about that day.
Who wants the track list to this album?
The new one or the old one?
The new one. The Harlequin one.
The Harley one? Harlequin?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, give it to us. But can we guess? Would we be able to guess any of them?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4.
Mr.
Crazy
J.
Joker Love or something.
No. I mean,
Ace is Wild.
One of them is just the Joker.
Oh, I was
Queen
going to
of
guess that
Hearts.
next. Harley Baby.
No, there's one that's like screaming at you that you're not getting.
Folie à Deux.
There it is.
Oh, there we go. So we got Joker. We got Folie à Deux. Is one of them like opens October whatever or something? And one of them's like rated R for nudity, shooting, and cigarettes.
There's like Get Happy, Smile, If My Friends Can See Me Now, World on a String.
Oh,
I think these are just the covers of the public domain songs they're using.
I think that's correct.
Or I don't know if those are all public domain, but they're old.
Yeah, one of them might be about the Smile movie that's coming out very soon. Smile 2. It's a pop star this time.
Yeah. Smile 2. You know, we haven't talked much about the Movie Fantasy League, but if you still haven't made your picks yet, Smile 2 at $5 I think is a pretty smart choice. If I do
Closing
say so
soon,
myself.
Right? When does it close? October something?
October 3rd.
Early.
So I don't know if this pod will be out by the time that happens.
Probably. Okay. Yeah, I think this pod will probably be up in September. But then, so you'll probably have 1 week.
So
but
this
then
is it.
Once that's out,
now
we'll
do
tell
it
you
now.
what we got.
And if you want to win, draft Smile 2. I don't care how many people laugh at me that it's a bad choice.
I don't know. Well, Diggins, what do you think about this Harley Quinn concept album?
You gonna listen?
Yeah.
I mean, of course. Well, I feel like I should hold off until I've seen Joker Folia do. I don't want to ruin my virgin ears before they can fully ingest the masterpiece that is Todd Phillips's Joker Folia do.
God.
Oh baby,
I forgot about Todd Phillips. Did you guys see what he said this week?
something cool.
He's trying to get me to like hate this movie.
I actually do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He said, "Well, yeah, I'll find the quote because it's mind numbing." But so they asked him, and by they, let's see, I have the interview up now. IGN. Philip asked how he thinks Arthur would feel about Batman, like in a universe, if you dropped in a universe with Batman. And this is a quote that Todd Phillips said. I think Arthur would be in awe of the alpha male that is Batman. I really do. I think Arthur would look up and appreciate it. I think he'd be in awe of that. So that's like pretty stupid.
So he doesn't understand the character unless the Joker's something different. Also,
well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
The Joker put his fingers in Batman's mouth. So, you know.
It's true.
And he doesn't understand his own character. Because in the first Joker movie, Joker does not go around admiring big, strong alpha men. He hates them.
Yeah. And I think, do we think Todd Phillips in reality thinks Batman is an alpha male? Do you think he like does pull-ups to him like Zack Snyder or whatever?
It's like,
what's Todd Phillips' deal?
That's a good question. What is his deal?
What's his deal,
What's
Todd
he
Phillips?
up to?
We've only seen this in Hangover, so we can only kind of learn his psyche from that.
I was going to say, I think he's the Hangover guy who got way in over his head, and now he just kind of says things.
Yeah. I think that's possible.
It's not fair that you do one thing, you get credit then, that you're just like a smart person now. Like, I want that to be me.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is he a smart person? Do we think he's a smart person?
Absolutely, I do not.
Yeah.
I think that he gets a lot of credit and also because a lot of people liked the first Joker and they thought he did a good job. And so now he's just smart, successful director, which is like fine, I guess. I don't want to be like rude or anything. I mean, I hold back. I
thought he was smart when he made Old School. Like that was probably when I was like, oh, this guy's probably kind of smart. That's a funny movie. He gets it. This is like when you overextend yourself and go like, I'm actually a genius when it's like, oh, never mind, he's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm very excited for Joker Folia due. I was on a message board the other day, like Reddit or something, where people were just complaining about how it's a musical. So it's not going to be good. It's going to be bad.
It worked for Mean Girls.
Didn't they hear that it's not a musical?
That's the thing.
It's not? Oh, shit.
So I always like kind of think that in my head when that happens, I'm like, why don't they just say it's a musical and be honest with the people? And it's because there are a bunch of people who are like, it's a musical, it's gonna be a failure, I don't want to see it anymore. I feel like the Joker audience really is not going to react to that well. But yeah, I don't know, maybe the Gaga audience will come out for it. We'll see. Speaking of audiences coming out for stuff, let's talk about everyone's favorite team, the Thunderbolts. They're in a movie now. They put out a trailer. The movie comes out in like 8 months.
Excuse you, Nando. I think you mean Thunderbolts asterisk.
Thunderbolts asterisk or Thunderbolts. You know, that's how I think about it. It's like technically Thunderbolts. Be like if you got chicken with an asterisk and it turned out to be, you know, like
fake chicken, vegan chicken.
Fake chicken.
Yeah.
Well, no, this would be like imitation chicken. I don't know what that would be, but you'd be like, yeah, it's chicken.
Pigeon.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some other bird. But yeah, they made the trailer for Thunderbolts. Did you guys see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Was it good? Very long teaser trailer. Like 3 minutes.
I don't like this about myself, but I think I'm becoming the Marvel skeptic where I'm like, we
needed one on this pod.
I honestly too high on
dissenting
Marvel
opinion.
Too long. And I'm just like, I don't think just the trailer could do it for me anymore. I think I need the proof of concept. I got to see it work. And that's just the name of the game.
You don't think the team up between Captain America, Black Widow, and the Sentry can work?
We liked those characters when you said them in one movie. You know, Avengers only have one of them. This has 3 of them, so that's going to be 3 times as good.
I did forget Ghost in there.
You did forget
Captain America, Black Widow, Ghost, and Sentry.
Wait, who's third Captain America?
There's Bucky, there's John Walker.
Sure. Yeah.
And then there's David Harbour.
Right. I forgot about Bucky. Then we're calling Taskmaster a Black Widow? Sure, I see that, yeah.
In this universe, fair. Yes.
Mm-hmm. See, she's the one who also has a shield. That's why, for me, she's kind of Captain America also. They're all going to throw their shields at each other. Bunk.
Just the whole thing's going to be shields bouncing around.
Yeah, they can catch each other's shield and go, that's not my shield, and then throw them back to each other. I don't know. Aren't their shields all just like trash cans, though? None of them are special.
Yeah, none of them are like vibranium.
Yeah, so they're all just going to fall.
I just can't figure out who this is for. Is it just like person who will eat Marvel slop? I'm not saying this is going to be slop, but like, I don't know.
That's what all Marvel movies are for now. Yeah. They're not for people who aren't already in.
I think there's certain fans. I think these actors are popular in ways that some of the other actors in these other things aren't. I think Florence Pugh is popular. I think the people love Pugh.
That's fair.
So that might be part of the audience for this. And the people like Bucky. He's popular. The ladies love him with his long hair, and some of the men and some of the other people. Everybody can get in on the action. The ladies
only love him when Chris Evans is there for him to kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably not in there at this one. But this movie also has...
Yeah, Marvel sent Chris Evans to heterosexual jail.
Yeah. What is these characters, they're all very... It's interesting now that I think about it. Like, none of them have a love interest they've never had one in any of these guys. These ones specifically.
Yeah.
You think they're all going to fall in love?
I'd watch that.
Except the mom and dad. Or except the dad and daughter.
But they're not really dad and daughter, though, technically.
That's true. They're allowed to
You're suggesting a stepmom scenario?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's like, if anything, a torture man who raised her to be given to the government so she could be tortured. You're just kind of trauma bonded at this point. So that can go in a lot of different ways.
You think at some point in the Thunderbolts movie, David Harbour is going to get stuck in a washing machine?
That does sound like something that would happen to this character, though, right? Like, oh, Yelena, the washing machine too small, my muscle too big, like a washing machine. Was washing costume, big Captain America costume or something. That's what he would say.
It's pretty good.
Then she'd go, "Oy, look, see, you're idiots," or whatever. I like her. I think she's fun. So much. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Alexi. Everybody's saying fuck now in the Marvel movies. It's the hot new thing.
That's because they're cool.
Yeah, because they're for adults.
Wow.
Yeah,
anybody say fuck in this movie? No, not for kids.
Think about it. The first one came out, 16 years ago?
Yep.
So even the smallest child who would have conceivably been watching it when it came out would be either able to or very nearly able to see an R-rated movie.
That's right.
I've thought about this. So, like, at some point, maybe, who knows, like, Jackson is going to want to watch a bunch of Marvel movies. What do I do? Like what do I
guide
do?
Him gently towards something else.
Military school or something. I mean, like, if only there were a movie for kids where they did big action scenes and also all the actors from the Marvel movies was in it, Then you could give them that. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist. Yeah. And
just show him that Spider-Man TV show that's for little kids where...
Oh, yeah.
Spidey and His Amazing Friends? He's actually watched that. But only because it's, like, colorful. And, the theme song's done by Fall Out Boy? I may have mentioned that before.
Wow.
Yeah. But, no, like, I'll put that on if I just need flashing colors across the screen, I'm not above that.
So. How does the theme song go?
It's like, I only remember like the hook, which is like Spidey and his amazing friends. It's like, gotta go Spidey town. Yeah.
I like it.
Danger on the way,
Does
Spidey.
he go to Spidey Town?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's where they live.
It used to be in Manhattan, but now they're in. Well, I guess in the universe, the multiverse, maybe one of the universes is just Spider-Verse, and it's just all the spiders.
Doc Ock's a
Everyone's
lady.
Everyone's a
this one.
Spider-Man.
Ooh, Doc
Is,
Ock's a
is
lady.
she like the Spider-Verse Doc Ock?
Mhm.
I don't think so. I just think she's a lady Doc Ock. I don't think she's the Spider-Verse one.
Lady
Maybe
Doc
I'm not
Ock,
totally
wow.
sure. And then like the like it's all Green Goblin. It's just Green Goblins everywhere. And then
That's gotta be tough for them to fight just 50 Green Goblins and one Lady Doc Ock, whatever that means.
And sometimes Hulk shows up and sometimes Iron Man shows up. And Iron Man's always cool. He's like the coolest guy. In that show, somehow Iron Man is cooler than Spider-Man.
Is Spider-Man in the show? It doesn't seem like Spider-Man
he's
plays
kind of
among
in
the
the
parts.
MCU?
Iron Man flying around shooting Green Goblins out of the air. And I imagine his amazing friends are other spider people, or is Hulk like one of the amazing friends?
It's the Spider People and like Hulk and Iron Man. They're all his
Okay.
amazing friends. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's primarily Ghost Spider and Miles Morales, who they call Spin.
They call him Spin.
And
Yeah.
but then also everyone else is included in the Amazing Friends.
What about Iceman? Is he there?
Iceman is not there. He should be.
That's
though.
fucking bullshit. Yeah, what about Firestar? Is she there?
She is not there.
Go fuck yourself,
We'll-
Spider-Man and your
Listen,
amazing
we'll-
friends.
We'll see Firestar when they release that fucking Marvel Snap card they've been
Yeah.
waiting a year for. It's going to be a year
What
and
did
a few
she
months.
do to the Marvel executives? They got her put in jail. Those things happened. She's not on Spider-Man's amazing friend. She's not on the Marvel Snap card. And in the comics, they made her a secret evil spy that everyone hated or something. It's just something happened.
It's a travesty.
Yeah, it really is. Iceman, on the other hand, he's still kind of going. So he probably just didn't want to show up for this because he's busy doing cool stuff. Like, I don't know, skating around and stuff. Like a train in this movie. Speaking of this movie,
Hey,
let's talk about
Whoa.
Transformers 1.
That's a good transition.
They finally made one Transformers movie, you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
They finally stopped making 2 and made 1.
Yep. Do you guys let's see, what do we do for this one? Who's in charge of the IMDb for this week?
I think it's you.
Oh, wow. Amazing. This is gonna be fun. I got a lot to say about this, and like all right. Well, you guys, we're gonna do the IMDb for Transformers 1, a movie that came out this week. Directed by Josh Cooley. I don't know who that is. Let's see.
The director of Transformers 1.
Oh yeah, and he's directed stuff before. He directed Toy Story
Transformers
4.
1.
Yeah, and Transformers 1. Those two. He makes movies about toys. What if they, were friends and then enemies? And then he
What if they were
wrote
more than meets the eye?
and he wrote Riley's First Date. Remember that?
What?
We talked about it on our Inside Out 2 pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Forgot about
Was
that.
was it with a boy?
Yeah.
Damn
Would have
right
had
it
to have
was.
been, or else the
Yeah.
executives would have had a fit. They
Yeah,
would
or
have
else
been like,
they
no.
wouldn't have sold.
Yeah, Riley's platonic hangout. But he Toy Story 4, yes. This guy made Toy Story 4 and works. He's like a Pixar guy, it seems like, because he did Ratatouille as well. Like he was in the art department for that. And yeah, it's written by a bunch of people, or I don't know. You can never tell with these. Yeah, okay. We got 3 screenplay by credits and 2 story bys, but 2 of the story bys are also the screenplay guys. So it's by Eric Pearson, Andrew Barrer, and Gabriel Ferrari. That's a pretty good name for someone to make one of these movies. And they also wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp. So they know what transforming is like. And they did a good job. They also wrote the No Exit movie, the screenplay for it, I'm assuming, not the book. Although, who knows, maybe they did. Maybe this is
A movie based on the Sartre play?
Maybe they're that guy from like France and stuff in the 1700s or whenever he was around. It's probably unlikely, but yeah, those guys, all them, they got them all. And yeah, let's see what Eric Pearson's deal is. He wrote Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow and Thunderbolts asterisk. So a true hero.
So this is your first taste of what Thunderbolts Asterisk might be like, DJ.
So yes and no, because didn't they? I was under the impression they rewrote Thunderbolts Asterisk. I think they took.
Know.
I think the Beef guys got another shot at it, and like it's mostly by them now.
Wait, a Marvel movie got rewritten and during production?
Yep. But
crazy.
This time it's good. Well, I don't know. Sometimes they're good. We all like Deadpool, right? That was pretty good. But listen, if they give it to the Beef guys, I'm fine with it. I loved Beef, and that was so good. You could give any of these movies to the Beef guys. It'd just be like, you fix it, do whatever you want to Mr. Hulk or whatever. I don't care. Just make it good like Beef, and then maybe they will. But yeah, Transformers 1, you guys. I have the IMDb summary. You guys know where the IMDb summaries come from?
Where do they come from, Nando?
Tell us.
Space. They come from space. Every year, a big asteroid comes and it hits the Earth in the same place every year, which is crazy because, how space moves and stuff. And the asteroids, it's like, what are the odds? Because, everything's constantly moving and stuff. But it's just like they figured it out. They know the secret. And who is they? Some sort of race of guys from space. And they throw this asteroid and it always hits the same place. And that is the Grand Canyon. And it is exhumed by a bunch of scientists. And by it, I mean a big asteroid. And then they break it open. And there's a little paper scroll. And they read the scroll. And that has all the summaries for the IMDb movies. The movies that are going to get released that year. And then if a movie gets pushed back, like, Captain America 4 or whatever, they throw it away. And then maybe, it comes out and then it gets confusing for them. That's why sometimes with like Aquaman 2, they just mess it up. It's because that was from the original IMDb summary before it got delayed into oblivion. And like the COVID really fucked with the meteors. And it made sense. Them less easy to like glean information from. But we do have one for this. For Transformers 1, and I'll say it's pretty good. They nailed it. I think because it's an alien movie and stuff, they were like, we got to really put our whole
Do you
hearts
think
into this one.
Maybe the aliens who send it are themselves Transformers?
They could be. They could be Transformers. They could be Quintessons, maybe even. Who knows?
Well, if they were Quintessons, then I would think that the summary would be very biased in favor of the Quintesson perspective.
That's true.
It depends on what the quintessons are in what universe we're talking about. But maybe these quintessons are not as well. They're different. It's complicated. That's my one thing with this one. We'll get to it. Spoilers for whether it has quintessons or not in it. But you guys, who goes first?
Diggins decides.
And I'm going to let DJ go first because I'm still thinking.
That makes sense. Okay. This is tough because it's like, do they do the whole thing? Okay. 2 mining robots on the planet Cybertron, Orion Pax and D16, must go on a quest to find the lost matrix of leadership after having to prove themselves to the mysterious Sentinel Prime.
Okay.
Vague.
Diggins?
Okay. 2 friends, Orion Pax and D16, discover a terrible secret when they go searching for the lost matrix of leadership, which sets them both on 2 very different paths.
I see we're just copying today, huh?
Yeah, I was really like when DJ did his and then Diggins had a shot, I was like, oh, Diggins is going to get it because he's going to do something different because it's not what DJ said, but it was what DJ Diggins said that too.
I went very different with the second half.
Sure, with the second half, maybe, I guess.
Completely different.
Not remotely different enough. But
sounds like it's a tie.
Yeah, it's definitely a tie. And like sometimes people say, oh, it's always a tie because they want to, every week the host goes on a power trip and decides to make them dance for him. And this week I was ready. I really was ready to give it to Diggins if he did the summary that I kind of expected I was getting from this, considering what DJ had. But then I can't. I really do have to do a summary.
Diggins, you have to listen to it back and be like, wow, it just sounds like DJ did his Diggins impression for the second half.
I'm just gonna say
that Diggins impression, I disagree with everybody. That was a bad impression, completely inaccurate, not good at all.
Wow, won't even give me an ounce on like, you had something there. Just so you're saying that not only am I wrong, but all of our listeners are wrong. So wow, you're really going out on the limb there, buddy.
Wow.
Listen, I think if anyone would understand me the most, it's me.
Yeah, I'm not saying I do a better you than you. I'm just saying I do a pretty good you.
I'm just saying I think I would know if what's a pretty good me and what isn't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
sometimes it's gotta agree to disagree, right? You try and come to a consensus, but I just don't really think you understand.
Very good. This was helpful. While you guys bickered, I was able to look at some
stalling.
trivia
Yeah,
to find fun trivia. Because I don't think, now that you know that it's not that you guys were both wrong about the summary, I think it'll be a little easier to guess what the actual summary is.
Give me another crack.
I'll give you guys another crack. I do have like trivia that I want to have a little fun with, but yeah, take another crack at it.
Do I go first?
Sure.
Okay.
You went first time, right?
Yeah. The origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron told how once two incredibly close friends became sworn enemies, having to battle for Cybertron.
Diggins, you want to take another shot at it? This doesn't count, but do you want to try?
Just copy me, please.
Yeah, you could copy him if you want.
Well, I'm trying to make it completely different because you guys apparently don't like it when I say some words that are similar.
Listen, I don't have any problem with it. I'm just saying, I think if you do that, sometimes it's fine. I'm just saying in this situation, I was kind of expecting you to do something different, and then you probably would have automatically won. But you could do whatever you want here. Again, like I said, this doesn't count. This one specifically, but we'll do some stuff that counts.
When four Transformers discover that their whole society is built on a lie, they must work to tear down their evil leader, but some have more sinister plans than others.
I didn't even look at the summary while Diggins was reading it because DJ got it pretty much perfectly. And I knew unless you read DJ's again, it wouldn't be close.
Well, this is what it is. I was thinking was like witness the humble origins.
Yeah, right.
Optimus Prime and Megatron. But you guys were so mean to me.
I
doing
wasn't
a similar
mean.
one
DJ
to
was
DJ
mean.
I was
that
mean.
I decided to go completely different.
I wasn't mean. And like I said, this doesn't count, so it doesn't matter.
That's
here's what it is.
Thought the first time. Okay.
This is the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, better known as sworn enemies, but who once were friends, bonded like brothers, who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. So, DJ, if you had led with that, you would have won.
What a sentence.
Right.
I think it's pretty close. It's what the movie is, kind of.
You know what's funny?
It's
I'm
vague,
so mad
but
because
not wrong.
You said it was a good summary, so I'm like, oh, it must be about the movie, not one of these. I can't remember one we did recently where it's like, come to the movies to see on the big screen how such and such became such and such.
I mean, listen, for this one, I'm like, it wasn't wrong. It didn't, nothing about it was wrong. And I do think that is the heart of the movie. All the other stuff about like the secret of Cybertron and stuff is like secondary. But we have to do the tiebreaker and stuff.
That's true.
So I'm having a hard time with this because there are some interesting connections to other movies here.
Okay. The problem is they're all other Transformers movies, so they're not interesting, actually.
Some are and some aren't. And I have trouble with this. First of all, I have trouble with this for a couple of different reasons. But let's do this. I want to ask, because so a lot of these actors, and we're not doing the actor game the way it's traditionally done. I want to focus on some specific things. A lot of these actors have done a lot of animated work before. And their animated work before not have done a lot either. Some of them have done a little bit, but it's like, this is their second one, maybe, or third one. I'm going to open up their full Wikipedia page just so I can make sure this is true. I just want you guys to go through. We're going to go through some of their backstories, and you tell me what other animated thing this actor has been in, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're gonna do a couple of rounds of it.
Which actor?
I'm gonna figure that out. That's why I'm just doing a little double check to figure out to make sure that I know this for a fact. And yeah, there's like a couple things on this list. Yeah, let's start with an easy one. Brian Tyree Henry. What's some other animated stuff that Brian Tyree Henry has been in? Starting with Diggins, you can decide to start or not.
Well, I have the easy one locked down for Brian Tyree Henry, so I want to deprive DJ of it, which is that he plays Miles's dad in the Spider-Verse movies.
He does do that, yeah. DJ, can you give me anything else that he has been in? Any other animated material that he's been in?
So
there are some things.
This is obviously the point where I would stall and try and draw it out, but I don't want to do that to our listeners. I don't want to stall.
Wow.
I will take a
Good
while.
Person. The Optimus Prime of this podcast, if you ask me.
That's true. I
should
have
being the Megatron of this podcast. Absolutely.
I was gonna say you're Badassatron, if anything, but
wow.
It's up to you whether you think that's cool or not. Yeah.
Nando gets to be Megatron. I mean, if anything, I'm just gonna take a flyer and be like, obviously, he's Phastos in a Marvel What If episode with the Eternals, right?
Perhaps,
I'm sure,
but not yet.
They must have done it, right?
The Eternals have not been in What Ifs.
Is about the Eternals because of how popular they are.
Right, it's just Eternals
right.
What If.
How hard it is to find them at that discount store from Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Easy to find them. They're everywhere. So the one thing that he was in, unless Diggins, if you know this, then that'd be surprising, but do you have any guesses at the other animated thing that Brian Tyree Henry's from?
I don't know it offhand, so just say it.
He was in a movie called Vivo, which I kind of remember because it was a Netflix movie. So it was about a dancing, a musical monkey and its friends.
Yeah, I was never going to get that in a million years.
Yeah, and I didn't expect you to. Let's do another one. Let's do ScarJo. What other animated things has ScarJo been in? Starting this time with DJ.
Okay, so she's
done more than a couple things.
Is this the dumb bullshit where I got to get the character's name exactly right, or can I be in the ballpark?
I mean, I said Miles' dad, to be fair.
Yeah, ballpark is fine with me.
I could have said Jefferson Morales, but I didn't.
You're a cool guy, Diggins. You are the badassatron of this podcast.
Is he Jefferson Morales?
Yeah.
Is he not a Davis?
No, he's Jefferson Davis.
Oh,
I think he is, and it's this weird thing where they did it Morales because I can't remember.
Miles takes his mom's last name, and he's Jefferson Davis. That's true
because it's such a stupid name thing. Otherwise, he'd be Miles Davis, and it's right. I don't know, man.
But also, why would any black parents name their child Jefferson Davis?
Right. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a great question.
Anyway, in Sing, she's the porcupine character. I want to say her name is no, I think the guy's name is Max, but I think it's not Roxy, but it's one of those adjacent edgy names.
I'll take the porcupine character. That's fine. It's Ash.
Ash.
Good enough for me. Diggins, any other things for ScarJo?
Does it count if she is voicing an animated character, but the animated nature of the movie is disputed?
I'm going to say no for that one, depending on... So there's two answers here that you give me the one that you think it is, then we'll...
I was going to say she voices Ka in the Jungle Book remake.
Yeah, I'm going to say that one is not animated. There are other things that she's done that I think would maybe be on that, this is animated, but that's not that one.
True animated, not animated adjacent.
I'll tell you what the other one is eventually, and you'll be like, oh, right, I see what you mean. But there's another thing that she's been in that's way more, not necessarily way more high profile, but I know you've both seen.
Disney remake is fairly high profile.
No. Sure. But there's another thing there's two other things she was in that are animated. One, I'd say is a little bit I didn't know she was in this. The other thing is something that I do remember her from, and I'm pretty sure most of us have seen. So either of you guys know what that is?
I think I do.
Can I snipe voicing Black Widow in Marvel's What Ifs?
No, that's a good guess, but no, that is not. She does not voice Black Widow in Marvel's What Ifs. To be fair, she's one of the. They get Lake Bell to do a sound alike.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah,
I've never watched the show because I can't stand to watch how they animate the faces.
it's fair. I mean, I think her bits are okay. But DJ, what is your guess?
I think okay. I believe, and this again, I do not know the name, but is she not in SpongeBob Neptune's daughter?
She is Neptune's daughter in the first SpongeBob movie. Yeah,
I
Mindy.
forgot about that.
Yeah, isn't that?
I don't know the name. I don't know the name.
Mindy. Yeah, it was that.
Oh, Mindy. Okay.
Yeah, the other one that she's in unless Diggins, you want to take a guess at the other thing that she's in as a way to kind of even the odds?
Let me think for a moment.
I think you could get it. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I haven't, but I'm gonna guess you have. It's a movie that just by its very nature, I don't think your brain can comprehend. But you'll understand why when I tell you what it was.
Oh, she voices a character in a Ghibli movie, doesn't she?
Perhaps not.
Which one is it?
Don't worry, there's only so many guesses it could be.
Is she in Ponyo?
I don't think so, but also it was not a Ghibli movie. I was kind of leading you on. She's in I Love Dogs, a movie that Diggins, I'm sure every time your brain thinks about it goes, but I don't love dogs. And then it kind of writes it out like the X-Men that no one can remember.
I don't think I've ever heard of this movie.
Wait,
oh,
what?
really?
No,
I Love Dogs? It was
Wes
like a movie
Anderson?
about, it was
like,
a Wes Anderson like stop motion dog movie.
Oh, I Love Dogs.
I love
Yes,
dogs.
exactly. But it's like I Love Dog.
I love dogs.
Yeah.
But it's Isle of Dogs is how it's written.
Yeah, I Love Dogs, like
I
you
love
just
dogs.
said.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We'll say the same
Perfect.
thing. Yeah, let's go.
Right.
So she's one of the dogs in it. I haven't
She
seen
plays
it,
one of the
but-
dogs. That's true. I have seen
Yeah.
the movie.
So that one's the one where I'm like, is it animated? I do think I would have counted that, but it's not the same kind of animation.
I would argue for that being animated. There's no live action in it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what does animated even mean?
Anymore, we don't know. AI is changing everything. Anything could be animated. Yeah.
James Cameron says that, which means go fuck yourself, James Cameron. I'm done with you. You take True Lies off my list of favorite movies, maybe. All right.
We both know that's a hollow threat.
I know. I really do like that movie.
Yeah, we know.
Now I'm going to take a little detour. This is the last one. This one will be a little bit of a trickier round for everybody. I don't think this is a spoiler that he's in it. But John Hamm plays the character Sentinel Prime in this one.
I do love the ham.
Can either of you give me an animated thing that John Hamm has been in? And keep in mind, as I'm scrolling through his IMDb page, it may not exist, but I'm sure it has to, right? Like he's got such a good voice. Has he not do animated work?
Has he?
Okay, yeah, I found one thing at least.
Oh, cool. You found the one thing.
I feel like there's going to be quite a few. I mean, to be fair, I'm going back. Like, he does a lot of things. So he's like, his IMDb page is pretty full.
Yeah, he does a lot of like little stuff these days.
Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys. It seems like the comedians like him, so he shows up in like, a couple episodes of 30 Rock or whatever.
I could barely wager a guess. Like, I don't know.
I got a couple things. Yeah, I think these are all realistic things, and we're only going for movies, no TV shows, because he's been in all the TV shows.
And like theatrical release movies, not like the because I'm like, maybe he was like a superhero in like a DC animated movie.
I was also thinking that.
Theatrical stuff.
Man, it's me. I'm John Hamm. I'm Green Lantern in Green Lantern. Is that it?
There hasn't been a theatrical animated Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't remember.
Well, if he was in those Lego movies, but he doesn't play Green Lantern in those, but that would be an acceptable answer.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a silly like cameo thing.
I feel like he does voice someone in the Lego movies though.
You think so, right? But I don't see it on this list.
Oh, well, I guess I'm wrong then.
This is tough. This is really tough.
It is tough. They don't make them easy.
That's true. Well,
Really?
I because I'm the Optimus Prime of this podcast and I'm a cool guy. I'm going to say I have 0 guesses. I have no
Wow.
guesses. I don't know. I'm saying this is a blind spot for me because I
Very brave
deserve
of you.
again the Matrix leadership. So
Diggins, you want to take a shot at any animated movie he's been in?
Was he in the Captain Underpants movie?
No, good guess though.
it's
Like,
a guess.
not a bad guess. All right, so here's the 2 that would have worked for him. He's apparently in Shrek 4 as a character named Brogan, movie I have not seen, and he is in the first Minions movie. I think he's a bad guy of it or something, or maybe he's one of the bad guys. Well, they're all bad guys because
He's
it's
definitely a
Minions.
minion,
Am I right?
Right. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
a minion.
Yeah,
2
he's the main
movies.
minion.
2 movies I've never seen. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I probably saw Despicable Me once. Like
Not
'cause-
Despicable Me, the first Minions movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh yeah, no.
Oh, you got him. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Last one. I'm gonna ask you about a reference in this movie, a very specific reference, and you got to tell me what it is. Okay.
Okay.
There's a chance either you could get this. Bumblebee, that Azatron. He has a friend. He has a couple of fake friends or whatever. One of them is a reference to something else that is significant for reasons. I don't want to say exactly what and which one. Can you tell me what and why?
Oh god.
And this is something I clocked during the movie. I was like, oh, is that that? And then it is, according to the IMDb page.
Okay, who's going first?
I don't know. You can go first, then. How about that? You can go first.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and do an obvious one, and we'll see. Is one of his like robot guy friends? Is one of his name like Michael? No, because they all have like fuck. Is like one of them's like M4CHLB8. That's like Michael Bay or whatever. Is that like
guess.
one of them?
Incorrect, but I like that as a guess. Diggins, any guesses?
I actually think I know this. I think one of them is A.A. Tron, which is a reference to his substitute teacher sketch on Key and Peele.
That's correct. He's A.A.
Holy
Ron in the
shnikes.
Key and Peele sketch, which
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that is a
Wow.
reference. There's a lot of references
Wow.
in this, but that one's the first one that I saw that I was like, oh yeah, that one's fun. So Diggins, I'm going to say you win.
What?
I think you guys,
Ugh.
I think you guys both struck even on the other games, and then this one is the tiebreaker.
I think Nando's tough but fair.
Yeah,
I guess next time I'll
that's-
just copy a summary and then see where it takes me.
Don't do that, because if Diggins hadn't done that, he would have won. But I mean, he won again.
That's true.
So
That's true.
incredible. But yeah, Diggins, as the winner, you get to decide, or you get to first tell us what you thought of Transformers 1, and then DJ, after we're done with that, and me and you have given our opinions, you will tell us what happens in Transformers 1.
Yeah, we'll see.
The punishment deemed by our gods. Yeah. So Diggins, what do you think of Transformers 1?
So I have some friends who are like super big Transformers fans, collect the toys, etc. They saw this movie before I did, and I was talking to them about it, and they were like, "Oh man, it's the best one since like the 1986 Transformers movie. It's so good. We're so happy with this." And then I saw it, and I was like, this really tells you something about human behavior, where if you methodically starve people for decades with Michael Bay movies, then the first kind of good thing they see, they're going to like be enraptured by. I think this movie's decent. I think it's maybe even as high as good. But I think there's a lot of it that didn't quite work for me. Now, it probably doesn't help that I have absolutely zero fondness for Transformers as a franchise. I never watched the Michael Bay movies except for that one that we did a podcast on.
Which one was that?
It was The Last Night.
The more recent one?
Oh,
yeah.
And we also did Beast Wars.
Yeah.
And actually,
Right.
I've seen Bumblebee, but I don't count that because Michael Bay didn't direct it. And neither
Michael
did he
Bay, I don't
direct-
think.
He didn't direct Beast Wars either. So it's still
Yeah.
true that I've only seen one Michael Bay Transformers movie.
You poor thing.
I didn't really watch. I watched Beast Wars as a kid, but I didn't watch any of the other Transformers stuff ever. So like I never got attached to like the, you know, iconic form of these characters, only when they were aminals. Which is to say, like, the Optimus Prime and Megatron in this movie are cool, and if I love those characters, seeing them be so cool would probably make me feel emotions that I didn't feel. And also, I don't feel. I think this will be my controversial opinion, which is that while Brian Tyree Henry gives an amazing performance, I don't feel like the writing really justifies the Megatron turn, which is like the heart of the movie. So like it doesn't totally work for me. That being said, it's a good looking movie. The action set pieces are pretty decent. The writing isn't anywhere near as annoying as it could have been. And overall, I had a decent time with it. So I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a decent to good movie, but I feel like it could have been a great movie, and it's not.
Interesting.
Also, it
DJ?
does that thing I hate where it's like Optimus Prime, Orion Pax, our hero, who has a flaw at the beginning that he has to overcome. But the flaw is that he's cool and brave.
Yeah.
And overcoming it is accepting that he's cool and brave.
That's right.
So
pretty cool.
I never like that. But yeah, that's my general opinion of the movie. It has, I think, some fundamental problems that keep it from being great, but it's still pretty good.
DJ, what about you? What did you think of Transformers 1?
I'm probably a little bit higher on it than Diggins. I'm like not a big Transformers guy. I don't really know anything about it beyond the movies. I mean, I've seen way more than Diggins. I think I have seen all of them, which is just crazy. I do agree with you.
They were huge when we were a little bit younger. Like when we were in high school, I think is when the first one came out. So they were for us. Michael Bay may as well have said like, enjoy this, nerds. It's a hot lady. You know?
Yeah, so. Right. Look at Megan Fox and her cool toe thumbs. Remember that, guys? Remember that?
Deal breaker for DJ, apparently. Yeah. Otherwise,
no, you know, I was being like gaslit by everyone in my high school. But I was like, she's not hot. She has toe thumbs. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? Anyway,
I've yet to actually pay attention to this, but I've heard this before too. That she has like thumbs that I guess are wide. Or something.
I think it's the.
Yeah. I'm sure anyone who's ever said that online could match up to Megan Fox in terms of baseline human attractiveness.
I was going to say, it's definitely just like incels, just like being angry. But anyway.
It's the human female equivalent of, I bet the ticket makes the chocolate taste bad. Like from Willy Wonka, like I don't even think the toe thumbs. That
these days, Nando, we call that pure copium.
Yeah, copium.
But so no, this movie I fairly liked it. I thought it was enjoyable. I think there's something about this movie where you know, if the original Bayformer movies were here you go nerds, this one was like here you go kids, buy toys, because I think there's like a lot of that. Like
you're saying it got back to the heart of the Transformers franchise.
Honestly, probably because it had way more of that, like what I would call like quintessential like modern kid like cartoon humor, where like I don't know, there's like the big speech that like or at that time, no, he's still Orion Pax gives to like the guard or whatever that was like part with the primes, and then one guy just from the background goes like, what? Like, like that kind of humor, which I don't mind, but like that is to like get a laugh out of the kids, and like that is fine. These movies probably should, their first job probably should be to sell toys, like if we're being totally honest.
I mean, if they want to honor their legacy, that should not only be their first priority, but their only priority.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think for me, though, it's like mostly enjoyable, right? I think the action scenes are really good. Like I think the funny thing with like this story is like it's so clearly to get from like point A to point B, where it's like, oh, we got these guys, and then, well, I don't like full spoilers, but then we gotta get them to the thing, and then we'll get them to the other thing, and then it's what you really want to watch. Like I feel like for some people, it's like,
wow, just DJ, I can't believe those spoilers you just gave.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like just the back half hour, like that's what some people are here for, and that's totally fine. If you need a movie that has like an hour and change of kind of setup to get to the big, you know what you came for from the trailers, that's fine. I don't find it like offensive at all. Honestly, you want to talk about Diggins starving? What's that, Nando?
I think I know what you're gonna say, so I was gonna agree.
You want to say Diggins, people being starved from like good Transformers movies? I felt like I've been starved of good movies in general after this shit August we've had. So
after the orgastrophe.
Yeah, This felt like I was coming up with the breach for some fresh air, like a big, good movie. This is nice. I feel nice, and I'm worried next week we're headed back into the breach. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, but for now, I'm like, this is great.
I thought you were gonna say, DJ, that this is the tightest of 90s. Like every strip of fat was taken off this movie.
It's an hour 44.
But like with credits and stuff, although you do have to sit through the credits because of the stuff. So I guess technically, but it was so fast.
I think at heart it's a tight 90. Like it's a tight 90 in it's almost like it's
more
core.
about pacing than actual length.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
But I would say at its core, right? At its core,
it's spark.
Tight 90.
But the core isn't what makes you who you are, DJ. It's the spark. Two very distinct and easy to understand concepts about how they're different.
So that's, exactly. Yeah. We all agree.
Should have taken out the spark.
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of Dogs.
That's the easy thing to say.
Nando, what did you think of this incredible movie?
So I'm obviously the biggest Transformers fan here. Besides having seen the Bay movies, I've seen some of the old cartoons and all the recentish cartoons. Not all the recentish cartoons, because they haven't made a lot recently, but the ones that were popular when we were younger, like Beast Wars and another one that I can't remember. I've read some of the recent comics, which are great. The Daniel Warren Johnson comics are like a huge like bright spot in that. And I don't hate the Bay movies. I think the first one's pretty good, and I think the rest of them were pretty bad. But so I know all their names and stuff, and I know all the lore, some of which I think clashes with this in some interesting ways. It's some ways that I was kind of confused by as it was going. But yeah, overall, I think this movie was pretty good. I think it was pretty fun, and it was definitely like a movie for children. But yeah, they're cartoon character toys transform into guns and cars and stuff. So like that's pretty, child coded. I would say as like a movie for fans of the series, I think they'd enjoy it just because it had enough little deep cuts and stuff. And I think it was, you're right, like there were a lot of bits with like that silly child humor, most of which came from one character who I think we could have completely written off of the movie and then made it better. But even just those little things, Megatron. Yeah, it would have been better if they were all just like happy and they were like, we'll lead a revolution, and then they did, and then it went well. But yeah, I think like the vibe of it, I think was fine. You know what it was? I think surprised me. I also think I think Diggins' problem was one that was, I think, not even necessarily just of Transformers fans having low expectations. I think the expectations for this movie were raised a lot just by like the audiences and like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff being like, it's a great movie. And I don't think it's quite at that like Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, level. But I do think it's like an above average movie that's like an animated movie compared to something like, I don't know. I think I enjoyed this more than Inside Out 2. And I didn't hate Inside Out 2. Yeah, but I just think it was like better at being cool and like, exciting looking and stuff. And I don't know. And I think Inside Out 2 for me was just like a lot of fluff. As much as I like them going through all the stupid puns, I like this a little bit more when they transformed into big cars and did races and stuff. And I think, you know what else? Speaking of things that I think are little kind of reactions to other things, I think the voice acting was pretty good. I think Chris Hemsworth did a good job. And if he did a bad job, I think I would have disliked it more. But I think he was good. And the other people in it were good too at doing what they were supposed to do, I guess. Because I read that Keegan-Michael Key was just told to Keegan-Michael Key it up. And what are you going to do? He did a fine job doing the most obnoxious character. But I thought the other voice actors...
We loved your work in the Pinocchio remake. Please bring some of that smoke.
Seriously, like, yeah, we want to give the people a new Aquafina to be tired of. Hey. And I think Keegan-Michael Key's okay. And I think Aquafina's okay. But
do you?
No. I find her. I think she is an okay person, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know, but I'm glad she wasn't here. You know, like I think the voice actors for this were good. I like.
There's only room for one woman, Nando.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know who played the other one, so she could have totally been Aquafina in another world. But I think she's doing another animated movie at this very exact same time. They probably couldn't get her. But I was going to say, I like the other voice actors that showed up that were other major Transformers characters that weren't those four guys that are the main four. Specifically, I think the villain was pretty fun, and I liked the other main character that kind of shows up, and you're like, oh, it's him, and then he speaks, and you're like, ooh, I kind of want more of these movies just for more of him. But I don't know if this did particularly well, so I don't know if we're going to get more of these. It seems expensive, but I guess with these, it's like the movie makes $1 million, or the movie like breaks even, but the toys sell a lot. I guess it's probably worth it to them, so who knows?
There's many metrics that you're not looking at, right?
Exactly,
there's toys, there's social media, there's many other factors that you're not looking at.
And
Ooh, it's
speaking of people that I'm glad weren't in it, yeah. He easily could have been one of these guys. But yeah, I think it's okay. I think most people will have a good time with it. It's not like Spider-Verse for Transformers, though, which is what I think it would have been nice if it was. But yeah, only so many movies can be that.
If your choice to bring your kid to a movie is like this or the Paw Patrol movie, absolutely 10 times out of 10 go to this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think like, compared to other movies made for kids this year, like I think this is better than that. I think this has, the thing about this movie is it's one of those weird movies that is both a soulless corporate product and like a movie where you can tell the people doing the corporate product were like, let's make them a little bit, I don't know, it could have been more product-y.
It's impossible for any Transformers thing to not be at least partially soulless corporate product, because that's all Transformers ever was.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how it started. Transformers is a toy company buying the likeness rights to a bunch of Japanese toys and then using Reagan era deregulation of like how much you can sell toys to children from a cartoon to just like churn out a show where they constantly changed what robots were in it so that they could just keep selling more and more toys to children. That's the origins of this franchise. You can't wipe that stink off ever.
And I think that's true of a lot of these things, except for like, I guess maybe Ninja Turtles were like a comic first, but so many of the stuff that was like for us kids was this and like Street Sharks and shit. And that is all just like starts as toys and then they work backwards. But yeah, I think the thing with the Transformers that makes them better than usual is they do have, because of years of this, they have a lot of lore and a lot of like memorable guys that you see them and you're at least a little bit interested by. It's the same thing with all these fucking Netflix movies, where it's like this, like, you know, you watch like, I don't know, what was the one you pretended to like because Mark Wahlberg was in it, DJ?
The Union?
The Union, yeah. You watch The Union and you're like, this isn't any worse than Iron Man. I mean, it is, but like, isn't any worse than like Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 or anything? They're about the same.
We're setting the bar real low.
Yeah, I know. I had to find a bad one, but at least with Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, because the characters have existed for longer and like have been kind of forced to have interesting things created for them, like a look and names and friends and stuff. It makes the movies more memorable. I think Transformers also benefits from that a lot because it just get to invent a bazillion guys and be like, what's Sideswipe going to look like in these and whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. But DJ, speaking of things that I don't know, you know this. Are you ready to summarize this movie for us?
I want to see if I can do it with no corrections, but like I know that's not possible because I'm going to forget stuff. So I feel like I have to give my normal excuse for why it's bad, and this time it's because I saw it like 4 days ago. And how am I supposed to remember something from 4 days ago? That's like impossible. No one could do it. So
did you fall asleep in it?
I did not fall asleep. You'd be very proud of me.
But also, if you had said 4 hours, you would be using the same excuse.
That's a very good point. Yeah. So, because as everyone knows, how could you remember something from 4 hours ago? It's literally impossible. No one could do it.
That's when I saw the movie. So,
well, maybe you should be summarizing that, Mr. I'm so smart.
Well, be better at remembering references to old sketches in children's movies.
That's a good point. Yeah, I should be
DJ.
better at that.
Do you like Key and Peele? Did you used to watch it?
I love Key and Peele. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't.
Do you
get
not remember
that.
the AA Ron sketch?
No. As soon as Diggins said it, it's like, oh my gosh, I just would have never like connected those two dots. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't catch it in the moment, but then when you asked that question, I was like, one of them's like AA something.
Oh wow. So I helped you again. This is the second time that happened.
No. When Nando
other way,
asked
you're
the
right.
question, I thought about it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so movie
They
summary.
could have put a bunch of the. Now that I'm thinking about it, like you could have done a lot of the guys from the because that sketch,
College
the
Bowl
AA
or
Ron's.
whatever?
Yeah, you could have done like Darius LaFlaxon and stuff as just like a silly guy. You know, I don't remember many of them, but they were pretty funny. I remember. I feel like one of them was just Flaxon or something like that. You could have had that be one of the guys.
Yeah. All right, so movie summary time. Okay, so this movie begins how all great movies begin, with an exposition dump. But audience, you must be wondering, how do we get to said exposition dump? Well, it's great. We have Orion Pax, who is a mining robot.
Who?
What?
What's Orion Pax? That was it
That's
in the IMDb summary. It said something about Optimus Prime and Megatron.
I guess maybe we'll see later, but for now we just have Orion Pax,
okay.
and it's just him until there's more. So he is in like this archival area of Cybertron that like he's not supposed to be in for some reason, and he has these little like chips that like tell different stories. And in the one chip he plays, we get the exposition, which he already knows, but we don't. So I guess that's helpful. So in the beginning, there was God, and God made the Primes. The Primes are these big old transforming robots that do all the leading and stuff.
So I just want to clarify this real quick. Who was the god that is referenced in this like explanation? Because I don't. This is the part of it that I think diverts pretty heavily from the traditional Transformers lore, and I found kind of confusing in the moment.
This is a thing that I've heard before, as like it's not true in every Transformers continuity, but it is a thing.
Yeah,
but like yes, I can't remember the name.
DJ can't remember anything about it. His name's Primus, and he is literally the planet Cybertron.
The planet Cybertron.
His transformer thing is he transforms into the planet Cybertron.
Right. Okay. So he is Cybertron, and he is God, and he is Primus, and he made the Primes. And the Primes, there's like, let's just say a dozen of them, and they're all cool, and they have their own weapon, and they're like the protectors of Cybertron. But you know, as far as the lore goes, and we'll get to it later, one day they're just gone. They left. They
vanished.
Who destroyed them?
What are they called? The surface guys. I want to say the Quintessentons. The Quintessent.
You were very close.
Hey, you're on the right track. The Quintessons.
The Quintessons, yeah. They took them out. They're gone. So everyone now lives like in Cybertron, like the underneath of Cybertron, and it's all bad on the surface.
Did they lose anything else that might contribute to this
I'm getting there. All right, listen. You only have to if I miss stuff, but if I haven't gotten to stuff yet, that's not fair game.
It's part of the same thing. It sounded like you missed it.
No, I haven't gotten there yet. Like if I said, and then Orion Pax got chased by the droids, they can be like, wait, you missed the thing. So you got to let me miss it before you correct me. But yes, along with that, what missing was the matrix of leadership, which is important. And as long as the matrix of leadership is around, then Energon, which is like their food, flows freely and everyone gets food. But with no matrix of leadership, they have to mine for the Energon. So it's like a whole thing. So this is our lovely exposition dump that we get. Orion Pax is then chased. And then there's a fun chase sequence where he's being chased by cops because it's not made clear why he wasn't allowed to be where he is. Like, it's really told. It's just
especially because we're gonna find out, spoiler kind of, that this isn't even true. Yeah, you know, or like this is the fake propaganda. Kind of history. Yeah, so why wouldn't you want him to know that?
Right. But whatever. So there's a big chase scene
because filthy no cogs aren't supposed to be getting any dang education, Nando. That's why.
That's
a good point.
He is eventually like rescued with a more or less bait and switch by his friend D16. 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 Just
D16.
remember that.
Is he Beetlejuice?
Yeah, he's here. And him and Orion Pax are like best friends, and they talk about, you know, their best friendship.
I just want to be pretty clear to everybody. Does Orion Pax look like anyone we may recognize?
He kind of looks like Optimus Prime. And D16
does D16 look like it?
He kind of looks like Megatron.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I will say, me in watching the movie, so obviously, I saw like no trailers for this. I got the Orion Pax Optimus Prime thing from the jump. It did take me longer than it should have to be like, oh, that's who's it's Megatron. It's Megatron. It's Megatron. To be longer than it should have for the D16 to Megatron.
That is fair. I think Orion Pax with Optimus, you can be like, oh, yeah. With D16 to Megatron, and then with the reveal that Megatron Prime is a different guy, you'd be like, oh, I guess that was Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron is Prime. Yeah, you know, Megatron.
But I looked this up. D16 is apparently a reference to the toys. I think the Megatron toy was originally called D16 because the D stood for not Decepticon, but Destrocon or something, which is what they were called in Japanese. And then 16 is the 16th toy in the line. Now that I think about it, though, like Destro or something makes way more sense than Decepto, you know, for what they are. Like, especially later in the game when he's like, we're the Decepticons. Like, why?
Well,
who are you decepting?
No, they were deceived. So they're the Decepticons.
Well, that's
so stupid.
That's now, but
the Deceivedicons.
I just want to, before we're getting roasted by our fans here, I want to make it very clear. I understood that this is Megatron from the jump, from moment one. So please only roast the other two.
Well,
I mean, I knew.
no.
I've seen a bazillion trailers for this. I'm just saying we needed to say it in case someone hadn't seen anything for this.
Yeah, also,
like, that's very important.
Don't make fun of the people who might have been in the same boat as me. Why are you going up with the pitchforks?
Wow. This is another heroic Optimus-esque thing that you're doing, DJ.
Give me the matrix of leadership.
Wow. You can't ask for the matrix of leadership.
Yeah,
that's like the one rule of the matrix of leadership.
It's like the stupid Sorcerer's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone, yeah, exactly.
Whatever they named it,
if you want it, that means you shouldn't have it.
Yeah, but if you need it, you get it. And right now, I think we all know. If you know, you know. Anyway, I'm stalling. So they are friends. They then go to their like little hovel where they work where they mine for Energon. And like their mining captain is Attila
the Hun.
I mean, like you're almost there.
It's like Alice.
No, it's the one that you hear it and you go, well, it can't be that because that's from the other thing. But it is.
It's Alita.
Yeah,
Battle
Alita
Angel.
1.
Thank you.
Now this one,
it's spelled differently.
Now this one, I did spend a large portion of this movie thinking was RC until I learned afterwards that those are two different robots.
Yeah, it's the head is very like distinct. I feel like with Alita 1 and RC. But yeah, this is a character that I don't think ever made it into the movies.
I don't believe so.
If they did, it would have had to been like at the background of some big fight scene in like Cybertron. But yeah, an important Transformer that never really had a presence in the movies.
Because she was a girl Transformer, and Michael Bay said, ew, that's icky.
Yeah, we can have one of those maybe, and she can't speak. And then that's what they did. And it was, she was in one scene or something. She was like 3 bicycles, I think, in Transformers 2. Nice. You haven't seen it, so it's fine. Yeah. But then she was in the most recent one, and she looked like she's supposed to look. But yeah, this one has a big, like, kind of fucking, I don't know. What would you call that? Like a big waffle head or something. It's weird. But it's pretty cool. Anyway,
So Alita, she's like the leader of like the mining team. So we see a standard mining operation, but as they're mining for energon, there's like an electrical spike, which I guess is a thing that could happen, which then it doesn't cause like, I mean, this doesn't matter, but I like describing needless things. Welcome to mostly nitpicking. It's not like a cave collapse. It's like an expansion of all the energon turns into these like spikes that start like shooting through the cave. Which I just thought was interesting. Just have the cave collapse. That's an easier solution. But whatever. Instead, it's like, I think they even call it like an energon spike or something like that. Everyone's got to get out. But then I think Jazz gets trapped, right? It was Jazz.
Apparently, yeah. I didn't recognize that at the moment, but she does say it later.
Yeah. So Jazz gets trapped, and of course D16 and Orion Pax go save Jazz, so that's great. But then I guess because there was an energon spike and they did a wrong thing, Alita gets fired from leading the mining operations.
Apparently, protocol is to just leave anyone who falls behind to die.
Yeah, because they didn't do that, she got fired.
This is the thing I was talking about, where it's like his flaw is that he's cool and brave. He saved a person's life when he wasn't supposed to. And I'm like, that's not a flaw, movie. You can't lie to me.
Yeah, especially because like all they needed to do was just have him sacrifice something to do that, you know, some piece of energon that he was mining or something. You're supposed to take the energon instead of the guy, but they like, and even Alita, when she's like trying to save him, has to throw those little sticks, but those don't seem that expensive.
Yeah,
I feel like they could get more sticks.
Yeah.
Or like he causes the spike by like rushing ahead into like mining what looks like a big deposit without like checking if it's safe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also saves a person, so it's like you're reckless, like you're brave, but you're also reckless. Like there's a flaw.
Yeah.
No flaws. Brave and cool.
Brave, cool, and handsome, and all the other things. Whatever you want,
handsome.
You know. It's got a weird shiny face. I don't know. All the Transformers have weird faces, but it's weird when you have to look at their faces for the whole movie. Look like little plastic faces. Except Megatron's just look cool.
Yeah. So she gets fired, and then that's bad. But then, just kind of out of nowhere, we all get a message from Sentinel Prime. And who is Sentinel Prime, you might ask? He's the last of the Primes. He is still out there fighting the good fight to get find the Matrix of Leadership, so they won't have to mine for energon anymore. And he's voiced by John Hamm, and he's very cool. And we shouldn't think anything suspicious about him, even though the second he speaks, you're like, he might be something. There might be something
like
up.
1 second into the movie, like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing with this one.
Yeah.
And this character,
Gildery Lockhart all over again.
Yeah, have you seen Transformers Dark of the Moon, the third one?
I think so, yeah.
He's in that one too.
Okay.
Played by Leonard Nimoy, and spoiler alert, he betrays them in that one too.
Right.
So even if you're not super familiar with like character archetypes and stuff, if you can kind of remember which one that is, like, oh yeah, he's
Is Sentinel Prime always like this?
I guess, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with him.
I asked my friends about this. He's not always like a villain, but he's frequently at least like a jerk, and usually is some kind of antagonist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not a prime, like a prime fraudster. Spoilers. Like
the legitimacy of his prime varies from depiction to depiction.
Also, what makes you a prime varies a lot. I feel like you can like in his position, he is a prime kind of, because he just has the prime spark, which he stole from guys, I guess. But like the idea that like getting the Matrix of Leadership makes you a prime. That one for sure. But all the rest of this stuff, I'm like, you could just start calling yourself Prime, I guess.
Yeah,
There's nothing really stopping you. You just have to be really strong, I guess.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
They'll believe you. You look like it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
if you're tall, you're a Prime, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
If you're a big, beefy boy.
Then you get to be a Prime, as is in regular society. So,
and I do mean
exactly.
Boy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Otherwise, it's Prima, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So
otherwise we'll think they're the same, and they're they're lesser or maybe even better, who knows.
Oh yeah, who's to say?
Yeah.
So Sentinel Prime has a message for all of the mining robots that tomorrow it'll be a day off to run the Iacon 5000. Iacon is the city where they are, and 5000 is the distance they travel, I guess. I don't know. That's usually how the numbers work in
it's
races.
probably not 5,000 laps, right? Because isn't that what the Indy 500 is? It's like 500 laps around the track.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like 5,000 meters, but that doesn't feel long enough. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's the Icon 5000. Doesn't matter.
Do whatever the fuck you want in this race, too. There's no rules or
we don't
even
really
kind of strategy.
We understand what the race is, but Orion Pex is at D16. Why don't we enter so then we can prove that mining robots can be something? I didn't really explain this, but there's like a class system. The mining robots don't have cogs, which allows the Cybertronians to transform. So they only mine because they can't transform, and they're lesser citizens because of that. And they're smaller. Like they're literally smaller than everyone else because they don't have cogs. Why is that?
They got like a big hole in their chest where the cogs go too.
People are always saying if you lose your cog, then you get physically smaller. You become a beta. In a less dominant position in society without your cog.
It's true.
Very, very true.
So it's like, what? That's crazy. We can't do that. So he's like, fine. So the next day, the day of the race, Orion Pex is like, D, I got a surprise for you. And they go into this part of like where they can watch the race like at the starting/finish line, maybe only starting line. I don't know.
Yeah, which is definitely only starting line because we see where it finishes.
I can't remember.
It can't
I believe
be where
it finishes in the same stadium that it started in because Sentinel Prime is there.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but they shot themselves out of a cannon in one direction. I can't imagine. I guess maybe they were facing back in the direction they were. I don't know.
But anyway, they're like, wow, this is so exciting. And then Orion Pex says, hey, guess what? We're going to race this thing. So they just get to enter the race as miners. They're put on the official race yard thing and everything, and they have these little jetpacks that they use for mining, and then they use that and they do a bunch of shenanigans by like riding guys and slingshotting and using like Nando said, a cannon, and they're gonna win. These two miners are gonna win the Iacon 5000, but then D gets hurt. So once again, to Diggins' point, Orion Pex has no flaws. He has to go back for him, but that's only because he's brave and cool. And then, but unfortunately, because he went back for D16, they lose the race. But it doesn't matter. Sentinel Prime is so enamored by this that he's like, you guys are cool. Like, could I send you guys as like reps to talk to the miners and like be cool? And they're like, we would love to do that. And it's like, great, you go do that. Sentinel Prime leaves. But then one of the Transformers that they beat is like, you guys suck. I hate you so much.
And the one who demoted Alita earlier.
Yes. What's his name?
Darkwing, I think.
Darkwing Duck.
Like the duck.
Yeah right. Yeah, duck. That's the problem with the Decepticons. So many of them are Blunkwing. You got like Blitzwing, Darkwing, and it's just because they're all jets, and how many things can you possibly name a jet?
Right.
What's a Decepticon, Nando? He's just a regular, hardworking, everyday Transformer.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, is it just like a random coincidence that all the jets go with Megatron and all the cars go with Optimus? Maybe there's even more races and classes in here than we
didn't even know about. Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with the limited number of base models that they made palette swaps of.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So he comes in and he just like beats them up and then throws them like down a trash chute, I think.
Yeah.
You're right. And then
up.
Now they're in like the 50th sub basement of Cybertron.
I thought there were only 40 sub basements in Cybertron.
Oh, right.
A well-known fact, yeah.
Yeah, but it turns out there's even 50.
There's even more. So there they meet BB-8, everyone's favorite. Right. BB-8. Why can't I not remember?
Beeben Michael B is his name. It's like BB-18 or something. Fuck, what is it now? I can't remember.
Right? It's like might as well be BB-8.
And this one they say in the real movies too. It's like it's B-118.
Okay, it's Bumblebee.
I don't remember.
It's Bumblebee, right? They meet Bumblebee. Keegan Michael B, as we all know. and he works down here in the trash and is kind of a wacko psycho, and D16 is mad at Orion Pax, even though he got him his like dream, because like, oh, I didn't really mention this, but like they both idolize Sentinel Prime, but D16 really idolizes Sentinel Prime. They Bumblebee, I'm just calling him Bumblebee, I don't care what his real name is. He has all the
B127. Is that it? That's what it's saying on this.
Sounds
That's what
right.
I thought it was, but I was
But
like, I don't remember the numbers enough to say.
Yeah, Bumblebee. We're going with Bumblebee.
I mean, nobody calls him B127, I don't think, for the rest of the movie. It's just B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B.
Well, they call him his real name.
Badassatron.
Badassatron. Yeah.
It's Badassatron.
Sorry, could you say that correctly?
Badassatron. Yeah.
I hope that sounded great to our listeners.
I bet it did. I bet they loved
It felt
that.
great to us. Yeah.
Yeah, my throat hurts. So B, because he's like a weird little freak, has all these like robots made out of trash that he has given personalities and names to. And one of them that I forget, I think it's like knocked into or something. Steve has a beacon in it. And did the beacon like come with a message like the matrix of leadership is here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the help me Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. And it has coordinates to the Matrix of Leadership. So Orion Pax is like, guys, let's us go find the Matrix of Leadership. And they're all like, that's dumb. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So they do that. Along the way, they meet Alita, who is now doing trash. But
I guess she's in charge of like the train kind of
waste disposal.
Yeah.
Is what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So she does waste disposal now.
Which is loading these crates full of what we can only assume is waste onto these trains.
No one ever looked. Yep. So she's like, what are you guys doing here? It's ridiculous. And she explains to him do they explain now what's going on? And she's like, that's stupid. But there's like the big chase that just gets her roped into it anyway.
That sounds right.
Basically.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So anyway, doesn't matter the particulars. She gets roped into their adventure. So now we have a team of 4 and they're on the surface on a train and they have to go to the coordinates to find the Matrix of Leadership.
Well, there's like a big energon spike and they get tossed off the train.
Right.
And that's why she agrees to go along with it, because they can't get back anyway.
Right. And they go above ground to somewhere and that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like what they expected.
Right. And they find that the scintillatrons, the quintessential-trons,
Quintessence. Although they say quintessons, which I didn't love.
I think it's quintessons. I was under the
It
impression
might
that's how you
be
pronounce
that might be what it's like, the official like Hasbro pronunciation or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the word quintessential, so I think quintessence makes more sense.
Well, it's interesting because there is Quintessa, who is a single one of them, I believe. But I don't know why. I always heard quintessons.
I mean, they say quintessons in the movie.
It's weird.
So they're on the surface and they're hunting anything that moves, apparently. And they're like, that's weird. We thought they left 50 years ago or whatever.
Which, can you describe the quintessons for us, DJ? It's important, I think.
They're kind of like bugs. Kind of.
Yeah. They got like tentacles. They're tentacle bug transformer guys. They look like Transformers, but bugs. But it's not the Insecticons or anything like that. Different guys.
They're robot guys, but they also bugs.
Yeah. Robot bugs. So they go to where the beacon is, and there they find all of the fallen primes who were defeated in horrible battle. One of the primes is like still kind of like half sparking it up. So they give him some energon and that revives him, which is pretty cool.
I would love a crack at this guy's name.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember it, honestly.
Atlas Prime.
It's closer
Probably not,
than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah, you got the prime part.
I believe Prime's not in his name, or at least not in the part of his name they say, at least. I believe it's Alpha Trion.
Alpha Trion. Yeah. That sounds right. So yeah, he comes back and he gives the real backstory of what happened, how Sentinel Prime teamed up with the Quintessons to betray the Primes and like strike a deal with them, which don't understand how Sentinel Prime's plan works, because he's not in like a great position now. I mean, I guess he's kind of like he's the leader of Cybertron, but he's never there. But like I still don't understand like how his team up with the Quintessons worked. It just killed all the primes.
He surrenders Cybertronian civilization. They become a vassal state of the Quintessons.
Yeah.
But what did he get out of it? I get what they got.
He gets to be the big guy in charge and gets all the like sweet benefits of being in charge.
He lives in the lap of luxury, and also he used to be like the kind of secretary to the primes or something like that. Yeah. So he gets to not be that.
That's fair. So they're like, that can't be true. And they're like, no, go look. You'll see it's true. And they see it's true. They see that these crates, which they think are full of toxic waste, is actually full of energon. And it's being given to the Quintessons by Sentinel Prime. And they're not happy because they're not getting enough. So Sentinel Prime's like, we got to do triple shifts, more labor, as D16 is seeing all this, he is becoming meaner. Possibly slightly radicalized.
Yeah.
The bad guy. And Orion Pax is like, don't. No.
It's like, no, don't get a murderous rage. You're so sexy.
There's a chase scene because the Quintessons found out where they are. So they get chased. B and D16 are captured. Wait, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Not even close. Yeah.
Well, kind of close. They go. There is a chase scene, but they're fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They meet up with the old.
What else do they get at this time?
Oh, DJ? Right. They get their cores.
Yeah.
They get cores from the primes. They got the primes.
Yeah, you could just take a core out of a dead guy, and then it's your core now.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're now like Transformers because every son and daughter of Primus is given a core.
What?
Yes.
But they don't have cores.
Oh, I guess that means Sentinel Prime must have ripped them out before they were born or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to the fucking nursery, ripping all the baby's legs off pretty much. I don't understand what this is.
Also, does this mean that there's literally no one who was alive before Sentinel Prime took over? Because how does nobody else know that?
I mean, I don't know.
One day, all these like coreless robots were born. They're like, that's fucking weird. Where'd all the cores go? Or cogs?
Also, how do they get made?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a whole nother. Well, it's when a mommy transformer and a daddy transformer they get into bed and they start sticking things in all places and oil's flying around. And why do you think Optimus keeps going, I'm coming?
Why?
Listen, unless they lay a clutch of eggs, there's nowhere near enough women in this society for that to be how it works.
Maybe they're all somewhere else. Maybe they don't hang out in the mines and stuff. Maybe they're all, doing a different job, putting all the transforming or the energon into little cubes. You never see it.
Maybe male and male transformer can reproduce.
That's true.
And then we gotta boycott this movie, boys.
Yeah,
it's woke.
It's too woke.
This is the problem though with writing the Quintessons out of the origin of the Transformers. It doesn't make any sense. Like, where did they all come from if they weren't made by a different race of aliens all at once? It's just I don't know.
Right.
It's weird.
They get their awesome cores. They are chased. They then meet up with like the old guard of the primes, which is led by Starscream.
Yeah, old guard.
Like,
what is the old guard? The way you're describing it,
they were like, right? Weren't they like I guess they were like one level down from primes.
They were the Cybertronian High Guard.
High Guard.
Yeah. They're not primes.
Right. They're just guys, and they're all pre-Decepticons because it's Soundwave and Shockwave and
a lot of waves, you guys. Everybody's named Wave. He meets two fucking people named like Mike and Mark. It's like, whoa, everybody's named them. Just give it a break. Listen for once, Bumblebee, instead of running your mouth. But
so D16 gets like a fighting match with Starscream, and then we get the origin of how his voice is all weird, and it was from a throat crush by D16.
classic Transformers. Got to give the origin for why the voice is weird. They did that in the fucking Bumblebee movie for no reason, and they did it here. It's so stupid. Also, like, his voice was already weird. You don't well, first of all,
yeah,
we missed this. Who played the one from before? Who gave them like their little their chests and stuff? Their
who
destinies.
Who played Alpha Trion? You mean
Alpha Trion? Yeah, it's Lawrence Fishburne.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he gives you stuff. You know, whether it's the red pill or this.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, and then who plays Starscream?
Steve Buscemi.
Just a normal voice guy, you know? Like, it's so weird. Be funny if it was John Hamm and then he got his voice crushed and then he was Steve Buscemi or something, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, it goes from Steve Buscemi to like robot Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, modulated Steve Buscemi, I guess. It's weird how
Steve
some of them
Buscemi
sound
doing a
like
Skeletor voice.
Why did they sound like robots? Why don't they all sound like robots? What is happening to their voices that's making them sound like robots? You know?
Right?
They're robots. They should all sound like robots. But some
robots
apparently,
in
if you crush a
disguise.
voice, yeah, what did that happen to? Maybe that did happen to Soundwave. That Soundwave also is like all like, you know, sounds like a robot and like dances like a robot, kind of. I don't know.
Right.
It's weird. Love Soundwave.
So then D16 recruits all of them, and it's like, let's go get them, march on Icon and take out Sentinel Prime. They're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Real quick, what is their philosophy?
Oh, like we were lied to, so that's bad.
Well, but what is
They
the
don't say that
philosophy of
yet.
this honor guard or whatever they are? Like, what is their?
Oh, like just
Why does
fuck every-
Megatron kind of fit in?
Oh, because Outcasts.
Not really.
They have a thing they say, a little catchphrase.
Yeah.
I'd like
It's
to
something
know
Megatron
this.
is able to kind of use to
Yeah, I don't
usurp
remember
them.
this. I don't remember this.
I don't remember. Do you remember the catchphrase, Diggins? I can't remember
I
exactly
think
what it was.
it's like they're like the only thing that matters is the might of one transformer over another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, right. So yeah, he beats the shit out of Starscream. So it's like, oh, you're our leader now. So
And what does he get? What does he get in this scene?
he gets his big ass gun.
Yeah, I don't
It's
remember what it's
big-ass
called, but there's a
arm
name for
cannon.
it. The fusion cannon.
Yeah, fusion
Yeah.
cannon. Yeah. That I knew.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he gets this big ass fusion cannon. So that's exciting. But then they are attacked by like Sentinel Prime's boys. There's a big fight. Most of them are captured, including both B and D16. So Orion Pax is like the one moment in this movie where he's like, it's hopeless. I guess it's over. But then Alita Battle Angel says, no, it's not hopeless or whatever. You can lead us because you are cool. And he's like, oh my God, I am cool. So then he
is
decides
cool.
to like be cool. So he's like, we will go into Cybertron and we'll rescue the everyone and we'll beat Sentinel Prime. So they take the remaining former High Guard. Orion Pax goes and talks to his old mining buddies, and he's like, hey guys, see how I'm big now? We all had our cores stolen from us, or cogs. I can't remember what they're called.
Cogs.
Sure, whatever. They were stolen from us, and isn't that bad?
We were subjected to cog and ball torture.
Yeah, we got Cogum sized, and they're gone now.
So don't you want to help me fight Sentinel Prime? And they're like, yeah, we believe you because you're a cool guy who is brave and cool, and you've realized how brave and cool you are. So they're like, okay. So like everyone kind of goes in and attacks the tower where Sentinel Prime is. There's a fight, right? It doesn't seem like it's gonna go well, and then it does go well.
What's happening at the same time with Sentinel Prime?
So
as Optimus is doing his little speech. Or, excuse me, whatever we're calling it.
Well, he's like kind of like just talking to like the prisoners, like, you all thought you were cool, but you all suck. And D16, were you into Megatronus Prime, you nerd? Well, I'm gonna brand you with his symbol. Also, I took his core, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
So, now we know that happened.
You always wanted to know why he has a big Megatron symbol on his chest. You just assumed it's because he's Megatron, but it's not. For another reason.
Yeah.
Damn. Really
He
makes
earned
you
his Megatron symbol.
Yeah. Got it burned onto him by a dick. So
Please, a cog.
A cog.
Yeah.
A cog. So Orion Pax and his boys attack. There's a big old fight. D16 wants to kill Sentinel Prime, and Orion Pax is like, no, we just to show all of ICOM what a bad guy he is. Which they more or less do. Also, I think this is a wheel chunk we'll talk about. I haven't mentioned her, but there's a spider lady who's like Sentinel Prime's lieutenant.
Arachnid.
Yeah.
Who is fighting Alita Battle Angel. So they're kind of off doing their own thing. And we're just going to leave that there for the rest of the movie. Doesn't matter.
Well, they use her as stuff, right? That's part of the whole thing.
Stuff. Yeah, that's true.
This is the hardest.
This is the hardest part because there's like all the crap happening. So yeah, they fight, and then at some point they're able to get to the broadcast tower. Bumblebee has sword knives and just kills people now, so that's pretty cool. Knife hands.
It was bad
knife
before,
hands.
but now it's cool.
Yeah. Knife hands. He just straight up kills people, and it's fine. Like
if they're just nameless grunts, it's fine to kill them.
Yeah, like a hot knife through Transformer, just boom. Like a lightsaber through Transformer. Anyway, so they're able to, I guess, through the power of espionage, or I guess they use her. They use her eyes, right?
They smash her head on the controller, and that broadcasts all of her memories. That's right. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of them can't possibly be her memories. They're very clearly earlier scenes from the movie.
Yeah. She's everywhere. That's how crazy she is.
She sees all. So they smash her head into the console, and that broadcasts, and not memories of like her childhood or what she got for dinner last night. It's all Sentinel Prime bad shit. They got that folder, and it's like it's Sentinel Prime bad shit, and play it twice. So nice.
Angles
to play
that
it twice.
Are insane for her to have, considering she was standing right next to him. You know,
and Sentinel Prime has made the classic bad guy mistake of saying out loud the words, yes, I tricked everybody and did an evil thing, and nobody knows about it because of all the lying I did.
When will they stop saying these things?
They gotta stop. It's gonna, maybe they never will. That's why we're gonna get them every time. So if someone hasn't secretly confessed to the crimes, they might not have done them.
Honestly, like we can talk about how silly and unrealistic that is, but sometimes people do just send text messages about all the crimes they did. So
100%.
Yeah, what did he think? That his lieutenant, who has all the eyes, was getting her head smashed into a computer and then broadcast for the world to see? That would never happen.
I feel like if I'm him, I'm like, well, listen, if we ever get to that point, they're going to fucking kill me anyway. I don't give a shit. Like, let's just have fun. He got to live in the lap of luxury for years and years. Like, he did okay for himself.
So now that that's happened, we're all good. Except no, D16's like, I'm still going to fucking kill Sentinel Prime. And Orion Pax is like, no, don't do that. And he's like, fuck you, I'm doing that. So he shoots at Sentinel Prime, but Orion Pax jumps in front of the shot, saving Sentinel Prime, but killing Optimus as he falls into the 100th sub-basement.
Sorry, killing who?
Orion Pax?
That's it. There we go.
Oh, okay, my bad. Killing Orion Pax, sending him to the 100th sub-basement of Cybertron.
Well, but what happens before he falls? Because this is apparently a very pivotal moment that happens in many things. Like many tellings of the origin.
I also can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the...
Well, D16 shoots Orion Pax, but then it's like, oh my goodness, and he goes and catches him before he falls into the big pit.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah,
and is like, oh no, but then he's like, actually, never mind, I'm evil now, and drops him in the pit.
And I believe this is when his eyes turn red, making him officially evil.
That's correct.
He is now full...
Just like the fucking acolyte, Just... Once you turn red, that means you're bad.
Once you turn red, then all you see is dead. So yeah, thank you, Diggins. So yeah, he's like, nah, fuck you, I'm not saving you. Drops Orion Pax into the 100th sub-basement of Cybertron, which is where the core is, which is where I guess Primus is. Like that's
Well,
where
Primus is the whole planet.
Yeah, it's
Right,
where
but
like the essence of Primus is.
it's
or
right.
something.
That's why it's weird. It's like his soul is here, I guess.
Yeah.
And he has decided because Orion Pax is such a cool guy, he gets the Matrix of Leadership, and now he becomes Optimus Prime.
Right, we didn't mention this before, but the reason why Sentinel Prime didn't have the Matrix of Leadership, even though the Primes had it, is Primus can just decide you don't deserve it and like make it disappear. So you can only actually have the Matrix if Primus is like, you're a cool enough guy to have this.
Yes. So he comes back. While this was happening, Megatron's like, well, I'm still going to kill you, Sentinel Prime. So he kills Sentinel Prime, takes the Megatronus Prime core, and now becomes Megatron. Thus, Megatron is born.
Finally.
And he's like rallying everyone, and it's like, fucking kill everyone. And everyone's like, yes? Question mark? At least the Decepticons are. The Decepticons are full on board, you know.
And everyone else is like, this doesn't really feel particularly well motivated. Why do you want to kill everybody? Why do you want to destroy the entire city we live in? Like, what's going on here, man?
We killing me here or what? Like, it's pretty clear who was the guy. It's him. You got him. Awesome.
Yeah,
Kill the Quintessons for sure. We
Right,
all still want to do that. But
yeah, let's go after them.
Yeah.
Then Optimus comes back. They have a classic Megatron Optimus fight, and Optimus is like, get the fuck out, Megatron, you're out of here. And Megatron takes his boys and is like, we're out of here, but fucking war. It's war, motherfucker. It's war. So they flee. But now that Optimus has the Matrix of Leadership, Energon flows freely. It's coming out of the walls. There's waterfalls of it. It's everywhere. We just have it now. We just have Energon, and isn't that great that we now have Energon? And you know, basically, movie over.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We're happy now.
2 post-credit scenes. Do you remember both of them?
One was just with the trash guys, right?
Yeah.
They're there. And then the other one is hey, I'm Megatron and we're all the Decepticons now. And everyone is like, yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
because they'll never be deceived again.
Yep. They will not be deceived.
That'd be pretty cool for if you got tricked by someone and you're like, our name is Team Tricked. Like, that's a stupid name. Pick a different one.
We were deceived.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't even make sense when they're pretending to be cars, but it makes a little bit more sense then. Because it's like, you're blending in, I guess.
You. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, probably didn't want to call yourselves that because John Cena said it in that one movie, and now it sounds stupid every time I hear it. But it is extra weird here. And yeah, and that's it. Pretty good.
We did it, fam.
We did.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else you forgot. And if I could, it probably would come up on the wheel. I can't think of a way to correct that, but so I'll just say it's wheel time. Everybody wheel out. Let me open the Google Doc.
Sorry, wait, Nando, say that again.
Everyone wheel out. I'm trying to do my
what?
best. Like, yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it? Also, like, is that command given at that moment? Like, that doesn't feel like a command. It just feels like they're like, what should we do next? Go. We're going to go do the plan, right? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. These guys are dumb. All right, I spun the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. Landed on one of Diggins's. This is there's a couple of miners in this race. Remember that? That was fun.
So they spend a lot of the race commentators spend a lot of time of this scene talking about how surprised they are that a couple of miners have entered this race and that the miners are winning the race. Wow, these miners are doing really well.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you guys know this, but miner is a homonym for a different word.
Yeah.
Spelled almost the same. That means a different thing.
Oh, I know. It's like minor in music, like minor key. You've major key, minor key. So this
that's right.
That's confusing.
It makes them sound like they're talking about the music that's playing during the race. It's very silly.
Which music in this movie? Did we get the Transformers theme at all? Like, I didn't really catch any of that. I didn't catch We Got the Touch. I didn't catch that. Obviously, they say it, but like...
I was going to say they reference You Got the Touch.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have the rights to it. Like I could see that being something where the rights are all over the place, but
Possibly.
kind of surprised how low we were on Transformers needle drops. But yeah, what's funny about the miners, Diggins?
Well, they are smaller and like more fragile than all the other racers, and are sort of just like running around with jetpacks trying to beat all these big, strong adult racers.
Yeah.
So it actually does kind of work in a weird way.
Yeah. That's true.
Who would have?
Do you think this could be a soundbite, like that they're white, he's white, whatever bit from Elvis, where like it'll be a meme where it'll be like Matt Gaetz making the Vince McMahon face, like they're minors, the minors are in the race or something. I don't know. There's a lot of those guys. I don't know, Captain Disrespect or the fuck his name is. This joke,
yeah.
This joke works a million times.
Yeah. Fortunately, there's so many accused pedophiles who get to still just exist in the public consciousness that we'll never run out of people to use this meme on.
I think you mean unfortunately. I think you picked the wrong word there.
It's true. See, this is the optimist in you, DJ. You see pedophiles and you say this is bad, and Diggins sees them and says, good idea for a joke. I hope they continue to exist so I can continue making jokes.
I see that and I'll say this is bad for our country, but it's tremendous content.
Yeah. Bet you said that about Trump too. You were that one comedian who thought that, as opposed to all the rest who are like, I don't like this guy. I'd rather my comedy be stifled. But yeah, minors is funny. It's funny that they say minors a lot. The race is weird. It's weird that the race is in this movie at all. Like,
yeah.
Why do they do it?
They need a flimsy premise to have them meet Sentinel Prime, because I guess that's important. Right?
I guess. Why wouldn't just the story of him sacrificing himself to save his friend Jazz be equally like legendary? And then Sentinel Prime comes and is like, wow, you're the miner all the miners love so much. I gotta put you on tour or whatever.
Because we had to have a cool action scene where they do a big race.
Yeah. And cool another example of Orion Pax being brave and cool by going to get D16 instead of winning the race.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, given how far they were and how slow they ran and how fast the guy who did win came up behind them, even if he was like, fuck you, D16, and bolted, I think he still would have lost.
It's true. Yeah, also, in that race, I feel like D16 has a line where they're in their little skybox thing, and it's the starting race, like the starting light for the race. And D16 is like, wow, this is the best seat in the house. It's like, absolutely not. It's the best seat in the house for the starting of the race, but you can't see the race from there. You're looking backwards, right? Like, and I always have this problem with these races in Speed Racer and fucking Harry Potter, whatever. Like, these are all borderline impossible to watch, right?
Right.
Like, how would you track any of this in the moment? No fun.
I mean, the same way you track any like long race like that they do in the in the Europe or whatever, right?
I guess that's true. TJ, how is that done in like the Indy 500 or not Indy 500 in Formula One and stuff?
Like, you mean, how does, like, if you're there in person, how do you watch it?
Yeah, is there like a drone shot going from really high up of everybody?
So there's like they do camera cuts of like different portions of the race. So it's like, here's what the front looks like, here's what the middle looks like, right? The context of the entire race doesn't necessarily matter except at the beginning. But I mean, if you're there, you're just there to see like the vroom vroom of the car that goes by you, right? Like, that's mostly what's important. So
yeah, it's kind of what D16 wanted then, I guess. So good for him.
Yeah.
Do you think this race is good? Like, do you think you would watch this race and go, I had a good time watching that?
It feels like it has the pod racing like appeal, where it's like, oh, I'm here for the crashes. I'm here to see people get messed up.
Sorry, DJ, you mean the racing aesthetic of that?
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever enjoy watching any race of any kind.
Oh, okay.
It's fair. I feel like for me this race would be boring because there's no track. Or like, it just would be impossible to follow, but also if you can cheat by just flying through the air on a big grate or whatever, then who gives a shit what's happening in this race? Like, it's bullshit.
Also, apparently, you could just like jump down from the stands and start like jogging on the track, and now you're part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not?
They give you a little. They give you a little name and like symbol up on the leaderboard and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Why not?
I mean, because otherwise everyone would do it. It'd be such a disaster. Everybody would die. No more miners. They all exploded in the race.
I would also say that they also are allowed to bring jetpacks. Like nobody's like, you're disqualified because you use those jetpacks. Right. And like, sure, they have the disadvantage of like not being able to transform into cool cars or jets or anything, but like, that's why you don't compete in the first place.
I mean, the chaos is built in, right? Like the chaos is the idea, right?
Perhaps. I think it's a fine line. You have to manage the chaos, so it's chaotic and fun to watch and not just chaotic.
Are you suggesting that this is actually like a death sport? Like people are mainly there to watch Transformers get killed?
Maybe. Also, what are the Transformers doing on this planet? What do you do if you're not a miner?
Subjugate the miners.
Do you have a job?
Management? Yeah.
Is there like a 7-Eleven here that's run by a Transformer? Like, I don't know.
Well, everything's Energon, so.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You get to be at that party that Orion Pax crashes at the beginning with all the Energon.
That's true. Yeah, they're doing the Casino Planet thing where he like lands in the thing and it's a big pile of Energon. I don't know. What is... This society sucks. Sentinel Prime clearly fucked it up, but I don't think it was any good before. They don't even... they all look... Yeah.
I think when they had unlimited renewable energy and food, the society was probably pretty cool.
That was huge.
That's true.
That was huge.
Yeah, it's another one of those society, like, it's subjugated things. It reminds me a lot of the Inhumans show, because they did something similar where, like, the underclasses in the society... and like and they're mining and shit, and then the overclass is living luxuriously, but when you check on the overclass, it's just like them sitting around in a room going, we're in charge, and it's just like, what is it? What do they do? Sentinel Prime go on vacation? Like, what is he? I don't know. Get massages, maybe? That'd be nice. Also,
hand-fed Energon by people as they wave big metal leaves on his cold metallic body.
That'd be pretty cool for him. I think he'd enjoy it. DJ, spin the wheel. I got one of yours. Tick, 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 tick. Lands on Brian Tyree Henry typecast.
So, do you guys get this read that I feel like recently, and I guess I'm thinking mostly like Fastos and the Godzilla guy, that he's kind of been typecast as this like uptight kind of guy? Because he's like kind of that in this movie. D16 is like very uptight, very rules focused, very much like, Orion, why are you doing the wrong thing? You should be doing the correct thing, right? And it's like, is this like a thing?
Maybe, because then that's also his Spider-Man character, is the dad who's like, don't do Spider-Man stuff. Spider-Man's bad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his character in Bullet Train. He's the one who loves the fucking Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. Yep. And he's the more uptight of the Murder Brothers.
So what's going on here? But
that's also like the exact opposite of Paperboy, the role that made him famous.
Yes. And that's the tricky part.
Swung in the other direction? Like, I don't understand.
Could be that he did that really well, got into everybody's like kind of consciousness, but then he went and did whatever the first one of these is. I can't even trying to find this on his IMDb page. Like, where did people go, oh my God, this man is incredible at being a guy like who follows the rules. Like a stiff man. Yeah,
it's
like
just
Spider-Man,
a weird thing.
I guess.
It's like a weird thing to get pigeonholed into. It's like, we need a very stiff guy. Ooh, Brian Tyree Henry. Go check him out. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's like just me, but I just kind of have this read where I'm like, this is like the thing, kind of. So.
No, I see it.
I just find it interesting. That's all.
Like, it's the same way that, like, I guess Chris Hemsworth is kind of typecast as like a cool, carefree guy who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But that's what all the movie stars think they are. But then with this one, it's like, yeah, he's just like, just loves to follow rules. I don't know.
So
Do we think he's like a nerd in real life, maybe, or something?
Oh, that's a good question.
And that's why the Fastos thing. Yeah, because he does a lot. Yeah, he's in a lot of genre stuff.
If I was trying to figure this out, if only Keegan-Michael Key was in some kind of MCU thing, we would have the full MCU with our four main guys. And I'm like, he hasn't done anything. He wasn't a weird teacher in Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever. Like, I was digging, but there's nothing.
Be a bummer.
Nothing.
Maybe soon. Maybe he can be fucking, I don't know. What's coming up? Galactus. No, we already have a Galactus. He could be the Mole Man or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think he just doesn't want to do him because he's too busy doing like everything else?
What's wrong with him?
Well, I don't know. I don't think you join the cast of if you hate money. In fact, I think that is the exact opposite of the situation. Maybe Marvel just didn't give him enough money. I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, he's in like those. He was in Wonka. He's in Migration. He was in Schmigadoon, Super Mario Bros. He loves money. Good for him. Pinocchio, Chip and Dale. That movie that was cool. What else? Hotel Transylvania, bazillion O's, probably.
What was the movie that was cool, Nando? You mentioned it after Chip and Dale?
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was pretty cool. Yeah. It's a good movie. We liked it.
Yeah.
It had, he's in so much shit. Do you guys have a favorite role of Keegan-Michael Key's? Besides this, obviously, but like, what is your favorite thing that he's been in?
I mean, obviously Badassatron, #1.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. Do you think he's better in this or in as Toad in Super Mario Brothers?
You know what kills me? And look, I'm not trying to go. Look, I'm not dipping into the manosphere here. Okay, I'm not. Wait. I promise I'm not. I'm not dipping into the manosphere. I kind of liked him in the Bad Predator movie.
I can't remember what he was in that. I see him on this list. What did he do?
He was just one of those soldier boys.
Yeah.
With problems.
I thought he was good in that. And again, not dipping into the manosphere. I just thought he was good in that. All right.
Is that a thing for the Predator
I don't know.
movie?
Yeah. Why are you? Where does the manosphere enter into you thinking he was good in the Predator?
Isn't the director of that bad and an evil person?
Shane Black?
Yeah. Did I get that wrong?
I mean, probably, but I don't know.
Did he direct it? I thought he only
he did direct it. No, I'm pretty sure he directed it. And that's why it's weird. It's because it's bad instead of good.
Wait,
like usual.
Is Predator okay? I
think the movie is bad, but I think Shane Black is fine.
I don't know. Honestly, you could convince me he's good or bad. It's all relative. Like, it's so easy to be like, if you told me like he did a bad thing, I'd be like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe.
No, I don't want to say that because I hate just
never
assuming that when it's
surprises
wrong.
me.
So I'm just gonna take it back.
He doesn't have a controversies section on his Wikipedia page.
Okay, all right. Well, then I like Keegan-Michael Key in the good Predator movie.
Well, no, the movie is still bad.
Yeah, it's the worst one, right? I think.
All right, I like him in the bad Predator movie.
Interesting. That's a really interesting one. I couldn't even. Not even like any of the stuff he's actually good in. Like
it left an impression on me. Well, what stuff he's actually good in? I don't like him as Toad or
Toy Story. Do you like him as Toy Story? As one of those guys?
Actually,
him and Peele just being themselves.
I think this proves true for this movie. I don't think he does great voice work. I think better actor, not voice actor.
I think he can do good voice work. I even think Toad was better voice work than this. I just think they asked very little of him in this one, I'm guessing. It seems like they did go to him. I think I read this somewhere. They were like, hey, do Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, please. And that's what we got.
What do you think you're here for?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's good in Schmigadoon. I would say that's maybe his best thing. I liked him in Wonka, honestly. Looking at his list of things, I thought that was pretty fun. He was like the cop. Wait all the chocolate.
It was fun.
For some reason, was from New York. He played Kamari in Lion King, but I don't know what that is. And that Lion King movie. Remember that?
I sure do. And get ready for Mufasa.
Mufasa, yeah.
He played Dr. Hobart Clark on your favorite show, The Pentaverate.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it, but it did exist, and I bet he was great in it. He was in that Keanu movie, which I really wanted to like, but I just didn't think it just didn't work for me. I don't know. I feel like he's like, the funny thing about him is he's so well utilized in like sketch comedy, like Mad TV, and then the Key and Peele stuff. It's like I don't think he's ever been better than that. But
right, just full peaking right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like he used to be on like Reno 911. He was funny on all that stuff. He was great.
Yeah, I think he did great like sketch and TV work. I just think like movies, voice work.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
What do you think of ScarJo in this? Speaking of actors, we haven't really talked about yet.
She was ScarJo. Like
She was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did
I mean,
full
she was the girl.
Yeah, she was Black Widow again. Very competent.
Honestly.
And there. Yeah.
She's another one who, and I don't think her voice work is bad, but she is just doing, although she was great in her. Although I guess it's different, but she was just doing like ScarJo voice here, you know. Honestly, if everyone who was in this movie put in minimal effort, get that bread. Steal
Sure.
from Hasbro, ? I think it's Hasbro. Steal from them.
It's definitely Hasbro. I did want to spin the wheel real quick and land it on one of mine. Horrifying Hasbro Entertainment logo. So Hasbro Entertainment Cinematic Universe, I don't know if you guys clocked this, but gets its own fucking logo now.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember what it is besides Transformers turn into Mr. Potato Head and then a bunch of shit and then turns into Peppa Pig. Do you guys remember what the other fills in the blanks were for that?
Mr. Monopoly was one of them.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then there was like a multi-headed dragon that I think is supposed to represent D&D.
Mm-hmm. That's right. How do you think they're all going to meet in one universe?
Oh,
eventually?
I can't wait, boy. I can't wait.
Oh, they got it built in
what.
because they own magic, and magic is all about planeswalkers who walk across reality.
That's
yeah.
So the magic movie will be the one that combines all the Hasbro universes.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Which one are you most excited for? Which of the Hasbro?
Probably Monopoly movie. I want to see how that goes.
Margot Robbie. They're making it right now, right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think.
Oh, was Barbie one of the things in the Hasbro? Or no, that's Mattel. It's Mattel,
No, it
right?
was. Yeah, but it is. It feels like it fit right in. But
Yeah. This...
G.I. Joe's the other one. I don't remember seeing G.I. Joe in the thing, but it must have been there. Was there a Clue reference in it too? Like a knife
maybe.
or something? Yeah. So I'm looking at the list of things they've made now, and that's the other movie property that they worked on, or would have worked on, I guess.
Let's see. Looking at things here that they own. Super excited for the Cabbage Patch Kids movie.
Love it.
Ooh.
Easy Bake Oven movie. Furby movie.
Oh,
Furby movie could be great. Well, weren't the Furbies in that other movie that one time? Remember that? Mitchell's versus the Machines is like a lot of Furby bad guys at one point.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Thanks, Netflix.
Lincoln Logs movie, that'll be good.
oh, that's exciting.
Oh, if he's
very
Vampire
exciting.
Hunter, he could use those to kill the vampires. They go in that route. Yeah, I hope they make another Dungeons and Dragons movie. I feel like they're really on the fence about that.
Because it didn't do super well financially, but it did very well in terms of people liked it because it was a good movie.
Yeah, and
Right.
I think financially it got close to breaking even, and it's like I imagine with these, it's like unless like if you have some bombs, then a break-even movie is fine, but especially if you have to bring people back, it's expensive. But I mean, like Chris Pine's really the only big star in that. I don't know. They should make another one. But
Yeah, they should.
yeah, Hasbro's got their own one of these, and it's pretty bizarre. Like, I liked it when like movie studios were just like a big lion's head, you know, not like James Bond switching to some other guy, switching to Psycho or whatever. But
You don't want the conglomeration of all media into one edible paste?
I just like it when they. I think it's great. I think they should continue doing it. Just like turn whatever your brand is, regardless of how much any of it connects to each other. Just show us all that stuff before the movie starts, so we know what it's like.
So we know if we don't want to watch the rest of them right off the bat.
We're gonna see them and go like, oh my god, just like the Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story, and like, no, not like that one, but you know, kind of looks like him.
He will not
doesn't
be
count.
voiced by Don Rickles.
Yeah, if he is even still alive anymore. Is he still alive?
I don't think he is. I think he did die.
Yeah, that feels kind of impossible.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
I probably would be, honestly.
Yeah.
I probably would be.
But I spun the wheel and it landed on one of Diggins's. This one just is God Loves Famine. Let's talk about that.
So as DJ was reminded of in the summary,
lies.
Because they no longer have the matrix of leadership, the free rivers of energon dry up, and they have to do mining to get all their energon, right? But also, the reason they don't have the matrix of leadership is because Primus decides that Sentinel Prime doesn't deserve it, which fair enough, but then also doesn't give it to anyone else, and is just like, well, until you guys sort yourselves out, I hope you can just starve.
Yeah, you can mine me, Primus, the one that I'm the mines. So go die in me, I guess, or something.
And I understand if he's not happy with Sentinel Prime or like, you know, what his whole biz is or anything. But like, I don't know. It seems like Primus takes a pretty active role in their lives. He's not like a passive god. Mm-hmm. So can't he like do something other than cut off their ability to live?
Help him out.
Yeah. Has no one ever been like anti-Prime or anti Sentinel Prime before? Is this the first time any character's ever been like, yo, fuck that guy? And then they would have immediately gotten the matrix of leadership?
I mean, they had to learn the horrible truth about him before they were like, fuck that guy, you know?
And even then, Primus didn't give any of them the matrix of leadership until Optimus Prime was willing to die to defend Sentinel Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, why didn't fucking what's-his-name get it? Why didn't Lawrence Fishburne get it?
Yeah, he was still alive.
Yeah, and he sacrificed himself to save the kids before he got his head poked off by the Spider-Woman. Why didn't the Matrix just show up in his chest and then he get a big Optimus blast or whatever and his head blows off? Like, what are we doing here?
Did Optimus have to get to like the 100th sub-basement to the core?
I was going to
say, he have to talk to Primus?
It would appear.
Is the problem that Primus can make the matrix of leadership disappear from wherever, but in order to give it to someone, they have to jump in the big hole?
I mean, maybe. It makes as much sense as anything else.
Yeah. I assume that's it. But also it's weird because this isn't just like you're right. God loves famines, but it's not a famine either. There's like scarcity, but we don't see like starving Autobots, you know, or whatever they are, Cybertronians at that point. They all seem to be doing okay. They have a little house where they sleep and stuff. It's a weird famine, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes, those weird famines. You don't know what to do about them.
It's hard to like quantify also because it's like, what does starving look like to them? Because Alpha Trion, they pop some energy in his mouth, energon in his mouth, and he comes back to life because his spark is still going. So if they run out of energon, do they just shut down until they get more?
Yeah, I think so.
But like, why couldn't they do that to all of the other guys? Just pop in some energon and you're better.
Their spark was
destroyed.
Okay, is that okay, sure. Okay.
I don't know why his spark wasn't destroyed.
You gotta remember, DJ, that the true measure of a transformer is not the cog in his chest, but the spark in his core.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
But also, yeah, like where did his, why was his spark alive?
I guess Sentinel Prime didn't like
kill shot. No kill shot.
Didn't kill shot him. Yeah, he just got badly hurt, couldn't get up, ran out of energon, and was just there until somebody popped some energon into his gob.
Wait a second, I have another question. So the Prime sparks or whatever, or cogs. Gears or cogs or whatever, they are in their bodies, right?
Yes.
Except for Megatron's. His got taken, Megatronus Prime, whatever.
Prime.
Yeah, his got taken by the one. Sentinel Prime, yeah. So why didn't Sentinel Prime take the other ones?
I guess he didn't want to be holding a bunch of dead Prime cores around, being like, "Ooh."
He probably didn't want to let anyone else become as powerful as he was, right?
So then why didn't he just throw him away or something? Why did he just leave him there?
He didn't think anyone was gonna ever like make use of him. It's like it's the incompetence factor, right? You're just not thinking about it.
I guess it's weird because like when that happens in the movie, I'm like, oh, the hidden base of the primes. That's why no one's ever found these before. But it's like, no, Sentinel Prime knew where that was. He just doesn't give a shit, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what value would they be to him? I guess nothing.
I just feel like you could recycle them into stuff, right? Or you have like your secret trophy room where you put all the cores of the primes and be like, these are my prime cores.
That's what they could have found instead of his confession tape. Be like, he has all the prime cores.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Prime cogs, excuse me.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's very important because it's not the cog in your chest, it's a spark in your core.
Good point. That's a good point. Yeah. You know what else is weird? It's weird that Cybertron has... So, Energon is in Cybertron.
Yes.
And it, like, flows, like lava, kind of. But it's also, like...
Primus's various fluids.
Right. But sometimes it's a cube, and you can eat the cube. Is that like an ice cube? Do you suck on it? Because it's a water, or it's like fluid naturally.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do they get it to be a cube? Because they're not like cold storing it. They just put it in those boxes and it becomes cubes.
Also, what do the Quintessons want with it? Why is it helpful for them?
It makes sense if the Quintessons created the Transformers to mine this planet for this, which I think is what the original purpose of the Transformers is in the comics or in something, the G1 continuity, I think. I guess it's an energy source that's just a good energy source.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they got ships and stuff. They got to power it somehow.
Yeah.
It's like their grain, right?
Oh,
they've got to send their
God.
They've got to send their big battleships to go take the grain from the poor Cybertronians.
It's always with the grain.
Nah. Speaking of movies that came out this year, still haven't done those. Still haven't done the ultra mega actual real cuts yet.
Will we ever? Who can say?
I don't know. But yeah, that is the one thing, the one big continuity break from like what I'm pretty sure is the standard canon, which is that the Quintessons created the Transformers to... I
think that was the original one, but now this is closer to the standard one that they typically use.
Okay. Yeah. So then, so if this is the standard one, where did they come from?
God.
That's the part. Yeah, see, that's the part that always bugged me. Is like, well, why did they even exist then? And it's like, they're trucks that the other guys wanted, and then the other ones are jets because either they were the military, or I was just reading this. I don't remember this, but this must be it. They just made the planes evil, like made them do gladiator stuff for fun, and then they all gained sentience and then just started killing all the Quintessons. But yeah, apparently they're made and they're their own thing. And the Quintessons are also their own thing that came to conquer them or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what the Transformers are up to. Also, it's weird. You know what else is weird about Transformers? That there's little deer and shit. What's that all about?
Yeah, that is weird.
Horizon Zero Dark, whatever that game is.
Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Primus just decided that when the Cybertronians were forced to live underground, he was like, oh, I really loved the feeling of their little feet walking all over my body, though. I've got to create something else that can do that for me.
Yeah, I get that. And now I assume in this, Primus is the god of Transformers, and Unicron is their devil. And it's like a different planet, the evil planet thing.
Yeah.
What I never understood is like, sure, there's planet-sized Transformers, whatever. I don't understand in this universe, and we don't see them, so we don't get the explanation for what they are. But like, well, I guess it's just a question I have that I'm going to spin the wheel lands on one of mine. What's a train? Like, what is it? Is it a guy? Is it a car we made the cars to drive? Like, and then also it has like a track. It can just fucking fly, and the track makes itself like Iceman.
Yeah.
Like, why is it even a train? Why isn't it just another jet?
See, now we're getting to the core questions, Nando. These are good questions.
It's just weird because this is the only thing like this in this universe, and it's just we have a lot of train scenes, and it's magic compared to all the rest of these guys. But I mean, it seems pretty good.
I guess they built a vehicle that they're like, okay, we can be vehicles, but what if we just made a vehicle that is a vehicle but not a transformer?
Right.
Oh, is it Sentinel Prime took all of the cogs, right, to make a miner.
Right.
Is there a level even lower than that where you're just a vehicle,
just to train?
Oh,
maybe.
I was gonna say like maybe he took half of the Cybertronians, or like the lower class Cybertronians that aren't his like guards or whatever, took out the cogs of half of them, so they became miners without cogs, and then the other half he forced double cogs in them, which made them permanently transform into vehicles, and that's what the trains are.
Wait, yeah, now that you mention it, what happened to the extra cogs? They just in a pile somewhere?
Well, I think, isn't that what all of the Transformers at the end get filled with, when they're all filled with cogs?
But then where did they get
That's right. Optimus Prime says, I have come, and I have brought cogs for everybody. And then he fills them all up with cog.
Yeah. Open your orifices, Transformers. Get so sweet, sweet cog.
I have a cog for each and every one of you.
The matrix of leadership demands you take cog.
Optimus, give me your cog now. Everyone will get some cog. Wait in line. What am I, a fucking robot? Let's all be chill. And the cogs, I also like, why can't you just rip the cogs out of their tummies? I feel like the cogs would be their whole nervous system or something. Their whole body changes.
I know.
I don't know.
The fact that it's like pluckable is like hilarious.
Yeah. It's like that you get 3 little gears and then you turn into a completely different species because those gears flick around. And also, how are all the good guys trucks and all the bad guys are planes in this universe? Like, if they aren't designed like that, where did they get this from? Is it just if you are a plane, you will eventually turn evil?
Yeah, it's the inherent bias.
Just like in real life. What do you think's happening to Boeing?
It really does seem like, oh my god, they could use some cogs. Someone should check and see if they have missing their cogs. Oh man, Sentinel Prime is a real problem. I spun the wheel again, landed on one of DJ's Optimus Prime ... King.
Yeah, so I guess the movie just ends with him being in control of Icon, and that's cool, I guess. But like, what is the government of this supposed to be, right? Like, you think if you're like, oh yes, now I will have a constitutional democracy that we will institute here in Icon. It's like, no, it's just like, I'm in charge, bitches. Which, like, he has the matrix leadership. I guess that's cool, but it's like, you're gonna have all this power, Optimus Prime. I think it's gonna fuck you up.
It's like the Vatican. It's a theocracy. God himself, like, provides someone with the matrix of leadership. That means they are divinely ordained to rule over the people.
I mean, the end of this movie paints a pretty picture for Cybertron, but we know what's up, right? Like, it goes bad.
But that's because of the evil forces of the Decepticons.
Yeah, still, we know it goes bad.
I mean, maybe they do have an election every year, but it's like a,
it's like a sham.
Yeah, like
Putin
Turkey
elections.
or something. Yeah, it's just like, wow.
Like in a few years, you see everyone sitting around like, oh, wow, Optimus Prime, 95% of the vote again. What a shock.
Yeah.
And we're going to kill that 5%.
I think we need to reform the Energon system. And then Optimus Prime just opens up his chest, is like, I have the matrix of leadership. And everyone's like, yeah, Sideswipe's making a lot of good points, but He has the matrix of leadership, and if you make me take it, I know if like you aren't in charge anymore, the rivers all dry up and we all die.
And we have to go back to work.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's his at every debate for election season. Optimus Prime is like, "You can feel free not to vote for me, but we will we will lose all access to food." Yeah. Listen. My hands are tied. That's Primus's rule.
It's also weird because, and this is another thing on the wheel, and this we see this in fucking, speaking of Matrix of Leadership, Transformers 2, not Dark of the Moon, Revenge of the Fallen. We see the Transformers afterlife, and like they all just stand in a circle and exist to give you the Matrix of Leadership. So like hypothetically, you could commune with like the other primes. I mean,
which like how does that work?
Heaven.
Okay.
You know,
so there's an afterlife. There's like a.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, DJ, you're acting like this isn't the one thing that makes more sense for robots than it does.
Yeah,
for
I mean that's fair.
They upload their consciousness to this electronic device.
Yeah,
right. And it's like Avatar, where the whole planet is the computer anyway. It's like as long as you would assume what you would have to do this is like toss your body into the center of the earth, and then you become part of the the hive mind or whatever.
Then all are one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, they had a lot of lines. I mean, this was on DJ's part of the wheel also, but like they repurposed a lot of Transformers lines in this. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, they really made sure.
How many did you catch?
A million.
I mean, they said more than meets the eye 30 times.
Yeah, that was
we're more than meets the eye.
To prove we're more than meets the eye.
But
like also, it's like this is the race to see who is more than meets the eye.
Yep. Yeah.
Something that the Jet said.
I'm coming to see who's more than meets the eye.
How dare you? Maybe in the next one, but not in this one. What other Transformers phrases were in this that were like tricking us? Like not I guess it's not Transformers phrases as much as it's like how in Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man, Uncle Ben can't say with great power comes great responsibility, so he has to dance around it and be like, if you have great responsibility, you need to do great
power will follow.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah, like in Madam Web. But yeah, what were some of the other ones in this? You got the touch, but he didn't have the touch.
And he didn't have the power.
Yeah, he said roll out, but it was a silly little joke.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings is another one. Although he says like freedom and autonomy.
Yeah.
Which is the origin of Autobots, guys.
Hey.
Which I didn't hate. I like that. It made the Decepticons thing even stupider, though. Because he was like, I just was like, Autobots, yeah, Decepticons. But then it's like, no, we have a good reason for this one. And then no reason for this other one. It's also weird how some of these people have nicknames and some of them don't. You know? Like, you can just be B, but then Alita is still Alita 1. Like,
right?
You should all come up with names. Like people. Because that's what you are if you decide to be.
You know, we never know how Bumblebee becomes Bumblebee. We don't get that.
Yeah, I was waiting for that moment the whole movie. And no one is ever like, you're Bumblebee now because you're so bumbling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's definitely going to happen if they make a second one.
Yeah.
And spend a little one more time. One of Diggins is girl fight. There's a girl fight even in the robot movie. Good for them.
Yeah, because when they have to get Arachnid, who is a lady robot, who is the other lady robot in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like they don't like put too much of an emphasis on it. It's not like, you know, in like Van Helsing when
Van Helsing was cool.
The lady vampire and the lady vampire hunter are facing off like, it's a cat fight, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
But it still ends up being we have to get Arachnid of everyone here. Alita, you go get her.
Yeah, and even in that moment, I guess Optimus is like leading the charge of guys, but like he feels like he'd be better at this. And this seems like the more important job.
Because he's the one who can fly.
Yeah, right?
He has like jet boosters, so even though he's a truck, he can fly. And Alita doesn't have anything like that.
Although at this point in the movie, I don't know if he has the jet boosters yet. I don't think he gets those until the end when he becomes Optimus
He might
Prime.
not have that until he's Optimus.
Yeah.
Right?
But still, none of them could do it very well. At least he's got, like, I don't know, he's the tallest, but maybe she's the fastest or something.
Or she's a lady robot.
Or
And
that.
so
What
you have
even-
to have her fight the other lady robot, so it's not robot sexist.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Even though we had a team of bad guys, you know, it's like Starscream, he could have beat up the lady robot, and we wouldn't be like, oh, I don't know about this Starscream guy. Seems mean, but I don't know. Starscream was great, by the way. He was really cool.
Steve,
him
he
a
was
lot.
Steve Buscemi, which made him automatically good.
Yeah. And the other ones were cool too. I didn't clock if the other ones had like voice actors. Soundwave was
They definitely had voice actors.
yeah, I guess that's true. Looks like they're just the guys that do those characters, like in the other media. At least some of them are, because Soundwave is the same guy who did it in Bumblebee. He did Soundwave and Shockwave in Bumblebee, but they had a different guy for Shockwave. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't even that interesting of a wheel slice, but isn't it interesting a little bit that at the end of this movie, Chris Hemsworth needs to earn the thing, you know? Like, he did Thor again a little bit. Become worthy, and he gets the weapon, and then he uses it to beat up the other guy. What do you think of his little axes and stuff?
That's cool.
So energy axes.
Yeah, I know you could throw them. Like, they make little throwable axes, too. That's pretty sick. But, yeah. Do you think
I didn't
if
know
they
this
make
was a thing he could do at all, to be honest.
Oh, really? This is something that comes up a lot in the movies. He loves to like make his big energy swords, usually gold or like red or something,
Yeah.
but same business. And sometimes it's an axe, and sometimes he could kind of make whatever he needs. I even think he might have did it in Rise of the Beasts. He must have.
Well, I've forgotten pretty much that entire movie, so he may have.
You need to watch it again.
So we can get ready for the G.I. Joe crossover.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
What do you think if they made a second one of these? What is it? Just like more of them going to war and stuff?
Transformers 2.
Probably
Yes.
would be the reason why they have to go to Earth, right? That would be that story.
Yeah.
See, I feel like this would be a 3-part thing where by the end of the third one, Cybertron is destroyed. I think we'd have to do some bit in the middle where like the Decepticons make a strike or something. Not like I think we'd have to, but I feel like they would do that. But also like, I don't know, I guess they haven't found the Destructicons yet. And they haven't found the Dinobots yet. So if they're somewhere on this planet, then I guess they could get involved.
I don't know. Like my Transformers knowledge is tapped out. I don't know what is supposed
Same.
to happen from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, at least for me, this is also the end of my Transformers knowledge because it seems like it's going in a completely different direction. I imagine, especially since there's robot gazelles, there's probably Dinobots out there somewhere. And Insecticons and all the other like kind of subgroups of Transformers. Like Instructicons are the ones I don't know how they would work because they're just different guys. Like, but they're also trucks as opposed to like a natural thing.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Do you think they'll make another one? Would you say that the box office for this wasn't great?
It looks like it's not doing super well.
Yeah, apparently it had a budget of $75 million. And it lost to Beetlejuice, but not by much. Let's see, box office. No, yeah, it looks like it's opened at 25 million, so that's not great. Total gross as of now, 29 or 43 worldwide. So if anything, it'll probably just make back its budget. Because Megalopolis is probably going to take a lot of those screens.
Oh, yeah.
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 People can't
I
wait.
mean, listen, I did go on a Thursday afternoon, but there was one other person in the theater with me.
That's the worst. I was actually in an empty theater, and that's the best because you could do whatever
That
you
is the
want.
best.
You just
Yeah, then there's no rules.
Yeah. That's my thing. I go to too many early weird screenings that don't give me a good sense for if people like that, except for like Wolverine. But yeah, like a 10 p.m. on a Friday is a bomb no matter what, what kind of movie it is. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there probably won't be another one of these.
We'll see.
But
It depends on if it at least like breaks even, and also if like there's like a huge public like support from fans, then that might convince them to try again.
If they can make it a crossover, they'll definitely do it.
Well, they are doing the crossover, right? Like that G.I. Joe Transformers crossover in live action is happening, which is why my head is like maybe they're not going to try to do two of these at once.
I see.
It also
but I guess
might
they
have
already tried.
It might have a long tail because people seem to like it. Because, it might just be people are, extrapolating based on past behavior. This is a movie with the Transformers in it, so it must be bad.
Yeah.
But,
And
as
kids'
they
movies.
hear that it's good, maybe they go see it. Yeah, but it's also September now. Kids are in school.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not the cool kids, though. They skip class to go see
skipping.
Transformers. Yeah.
That's right.
Dope as hell. I like those kids. They're cool. Yeah.
Unless you're a kid who listens to this, in which case, first of all, we do a lot of curse words. Second of all, stay in school.
Yeah. Or maybe
stay in school. But, take a day off, go see Transformers. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are they talking about? The first day is always just syllabuses anyway. What are you missing? And then take all the days off. And then just fucking do whatever, That's the classic tale. Invent an app in your garage and become a billionaire. That's
sell
wallpapers.
wallpapers.
It is true that exactly one of the three of us uses our education.
That's right. Yeah. Education from the streets, though, that's a different story.
Yeah.
We all got that. But speaking of the streets, do you want to tell the people what to hit the streets and go to do with recommendations?
I would love that.
All right. DJ, what do you have to recommend to the fine people?
I just got a quick rec here because I'm kind of been diving into a bunch of media. Got to sort out how I feel, doing a little sampling here. So I'm just going to give a board game rec. This is a board. What? I know. This is what I would call like one of those like Target board games where you might stumble into the Target board game aisle and be like, whoa, what's this thing? But you're not sure what if you want to buy it because it's like next to Cards Against Humanity and you're like, that's not what I want. But this board game is called Wavelength. Have you guys heard of Wavelength?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So
I've played it.
It's a team game. You have this dial and you're given like a prompt of like a range of things. So like maybe it's what temperature do you want your bedroom at? And it's like the range will be like really, really hot or like really, really cold. And you have to put the dial where you think it's like, okay, this is what the ideal like Goldilocks thing is. And then your teammates have to guess where did you put it. And then you like reveal and it's like, oh, you got it right. Why are you shaking your head?
It doesn't go far enough to the cold section for me.
The game works is you get you kind of like randomly determine where the dial is, and you are given the two extremes of what it is, and you have to give a clue that will get them to guess where the dial is. So if it's all the way on the hot end of the side, you might say the sun. But if it's like exactly in the middle, then you got to be like, what's exactly between too hot and too cold?
Nobody knows.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, Diggins. That is how it works. And once again, you're just coming over the top rope.
I think this is the first time I've corrected your own rec, though. So that's pretty impressive.
That can't be the first time. There's no way. What did I get wrong about Stereophonic last week when I wrecked it or whenever that was?
You probably called it a musical or something.
Yeah, it's true. It's a great musical,
That's
though.
my
Seriously.
guess.
You listen to the soundtrack, my God.
Now,
favorite
what's the
song,
difference?
Masquerade, easy, so good.
That sounds like a Trump sentence. Just favorite song, Masquerade. So easy, so good. The people that love Masquerade. I don't know why.
It's the biggest and best song. Dude, we love Masquerade. Everyone loves
so many
Masquerade.
times. Yeah.
And they tell me, well, really, you got to listen to the camp version because that's better because the acoustic is fantastic. But I tell them, no, I want the real version. Anyway,
You'd assume our Trump impressions would be better, but they're not.
I didn't even try.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard.
And that was the worst one because Trump would never be quiet about Masquerade. He loves it, you know?
Yeah. He loves it so much.
That's
anyway,
a big Kamala impression of just being quiet and letting Trump make fun of himself for liking Masquerade. As opposed to, you know.
It's the best song. Stop.
Yeah, you guys can't even believe his reactions right now.
I'm doing my Kamala impression by making faces at everything they say. It's a great bit for this audio medium.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect. Anyway, Wavelength is a very fun game where you get to yell at the clue giver when they're wrong. So imagine how much fun that everyone has when I'm like, oh, exactly between hot and cold is like 80 degrees. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like,
insane.
Oh,
absolutely insane.
Kind
Way
of
too
is.
Hot and cold of what? Just the world?
That's the challenge of the game. They're usually a little more bounded, but like that is the
I
challenge.
feel like that is a really hard one. It's absolutely in the middle between hot and cold.
Like one of them was like value of a college education. I think was the guess. It was between like absolutely needs it and absolutely does not need it. Like literally were the bounds, and it was like college education was the prompt. I can't remember where that landed, but yeah, it's good. It's a fun game. It's a really fun party game. Really fun party game. So it's called Wavelength because you have to guess if you're on the same page. So anyway, Diggins, what's your cool recommendation?
I have a cool recommendation that I have a feeling Nando is going to echo me on because I know he likes it.
That's right. It's my favorite Marvel show, Echo. We're
That's
watching it again, baby. The rewatch. We're gonna get all those hidden clues about what the original Echo show was like. We'll
about
know.
if Kingpin is alive or not.
Mm-hmm. That bullet's still in his skull. Whatever. We'll never know.
No, I haven't watched Echo, and I never will.
That's what everybody says.
Until Echo Sweep.
A lot of them were right. They still haven't watched it. Maybe one of these days.
Most of them, even.
Yeah.
No, I watched a different show spun off from a superhero property. A little TV show that came out this week called The Penguin.
Oh.
So this is the spin-off from the Matt Reeves The Batman, with Colin Farrell playing Oz Cobb.
Yeah. The normal person name.
I mean, his name is Oswald. They do say it.
It is Oswald. That's true. Yeah.
But so he's like a Gotham City gangster. And in the aftermath of the Batman, when Gotham's dealing with this big flood and the Carmine Falcone, just Falcone, right?
I think it's, I always say Falcone because the other one is Maroni. So it's like Falcone, Maroni. Otherwise they sound so similar. Yeah.
So he was like the big boss of the crimes, like Gotham's biggest crime syndicate, and he's dead now. So it's sort of like the gritty gangster drama about the Penguin trying to like rise up through the ranks and become the new crime boss of Gotham. But also it's a gritty gangster drama where the main character is a waddling freakazoid who talks like a cross between Tony Soprano and Popeye.
Yeah.
So Popeye. It's like, it's hard to fully take seriously in a way that I found very fun. Because it's frankly funnier that they fully take the Penguin seriously. He is not a joke in this show. They are like playing him completely straight, but he's this absurd character.
Yeah.
And so it's like really funny. Krista Milioti, I think, also brings a real intensity to the role of Sophia Falcone, one of Carmine's children who has her suspicions about Oz Cobb's real loyalties. And also, he teams up with some random kid he found for pretty much no reason.
Yep.
He has this kid do some stuff where I'm like, surely you have more important guys for this.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, it's a very silly show, but it's a very silly show that takes itself very seriously, and I kind of love that.
Great.
Nando, do you have anything to add?
I mean, I liked when they played the Dolly Parton song, and I liked when he drank the Slurpee. That was pretty cool.
Excuse me, that was a slush puppy?
That was a slush puppy. That's true. Did you guys call them suicides back in the day? That was a word I was familiar with.
I've heard that term before of when you mix all the flavors together, you call it a suit. I've heard that and graveyard.
Oh, I've never heard graveyard. Interesting. Must be a regional thing. But yeah, that part was cool. What else was cool? His weird voice, his stupid face.
When he's buck-ass naked.
Butt naked, yep. A lot of naked people on the TV this week. What else was cool? I don't know. It was cool. I liked it. I feel like there was another actor in it that I liked that I can't
Clancy
remember who.
Brown?
Oh yeah, he was cool. I liked him. Although you know what it is? I like how much they were just weird Sopranos. They were so Sopranos-y.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Even the logo is like, you look at it and you're like, that's the Sopranos, right?
And it's HBO, so it's funny because this week The Sopranos has popped up in a lot of the recommendations and stuff like that. Like, it got a big bar on HBO Max of like, watch The Sopranos again. And it's like, why? I'm watching Penguin. Like, am I gonna watch Penguin twice? Like, what's the point? But I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's reminding people how much they love Sopranos. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Probably Batman's not going to show up, which would be great. But I would like to see, I don't know. I kind of want to see like somebody else from the other thing. Like, what does Commissioner Gordon even think these people are? Is he just like, fuck it, let them do their bullshit? Like, they're cutting each other's heads off for something. Well, whatever.
He wasn't commissioner yet by the end of the movie, was he?
I don't remember.
I think he was still just a detective.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, that's true. And then Catwoman leaves, so she can't be there. Everybody else explodes, mostly. So, yeah, it's got to be him. See what he's up to. Maybe he's also has a kid friend that's walking around with him and doing a weird little stutter or something that's supposed to be humanizing. But yeah, no, it's great. I love it. It's the best show. How many episodes are there? Do we know?
I think still just the one, unless it came out in the past 12 hours.
No, I mean, how many will there be?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I can never tell with these. It looks like, 8 episodes. Okay, so got a little bit of time. But yeah, no, I think the word on this is pretty positive. So I think people are going to start checking it out, even though it's a Penguin spinoff from the Batman movie, which is an insane sentence. Yeah.
Right. What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to rec to the fine people?
I mean, so I was going to recommend Penguin. Obviously, it still did. I also recommend Agatha, speaking of shows where you see their butts, because that is something that happens in one of the episodes of Agatha that I think is weird that that and Penguin were this week. And weird spinoffs where you're like, this guy didn't need a spinoff, but I like this thing. And also their color is purple. And I think Agatha is like not as good of a show as Penguin, just because I do think
Nando,
Penguin is great.
His car is plum.
It's true. It is plum. Yeah, that is funny. I like him. Like I want to hang out with him. I don't really, but like I kind of do when I watch the show. Like, I don't want to like spend a lot of time with the Penguin, but if I met him, I'd probably be like, had a great night tonight. Met the Penguin. It was kind of weird, but he gave me a handshake, and now I think I'm like indebted to him. But yeah, Agatha's great at being what it is, which is a silly witch thing, kind of like Hocus Pocus. I would say it's the closest thing you could nail down to what it's done, at least so far, although it does seem like it's going to do the WandaVision thing of like different genres. If people have watched it, I don't think the first episode is a great like sense for what the show is going to feel like, but I do think the first episode is really fun. So, you know, there's that. That one, there's 3 episodes of, and they just put out one, and I think it's okay. I'm waiting because I think there's going to be more interesting stuff as it goes on. I think Aubrey Plaza is really good in it. As opposed to Megalopolis, which I have not seen. But she is also in that. Speaking of things that I watched that movie Blink Twice. Do either of you guys see this?
Oh, I wanted to see it, but I didn't catch it.
Same.
It's okay. I think it's good. But I would believe you could convince me it's bad. Like, You could convince me its themes are bad if someone made a good argument, and I'd be like, you know what, this is a bad movie about that. But overall, I think the movie part of it is good, like the filmmaking and stuff. But I forget who I said this to, but it'd be like if I just, like, I feel like I need more think pieces on it from women mostly. The same way that if me and all my white friends like Get Out, then we went, I think we get it. We probably want to hear from somebody else just to see what they thought of Get Out. But Get Out's a bad example because Get Out is good. So, you know, it'd be like if we saw The Barber Shop and we were like, yeah, this is a pretty good culture thing. And like, well, maybe. I don't know how people feel about The Barber Shop. But yeah, it's interesting. Channing Tatum's pretty good in it. I love Adria Arjona in it. She has a small-ish role in the beginning, but she gets more as it goes on. You get more of her. She's from that movie Hitman, and like she's Bix Colleen in Andor, and like this movie convinced me like she's a star, like she's like a movie star. And yeah, I'm always like curious if people in like Hollywood now are like, is this one a movie star? Is this person a movie star? I think she's very good. Comics this week, I read the new Dazzler comic, the one that has Strong Guy in it. It's fine. It's fun. It's good. I will say one other thing. I don't know if I can recommend this because I don't think anybody else can get this. Maybe they can get it, but I don't know how. I don't know if you guys saw this online. They started mailing out physical onions again.
Whoa.
So this is fun to have. Yeah, it's a good. I love the onion, and I loved picking it up back like when it was a physical newspaper, and it's pretty fun. Like it's got all the fun onion stuff, including fake ads and yeah, and fake ads for like a fake thing, and then fake ads for a real thing that are fake. Like for instance, you should see this. Like there's this ad that is for like some shirt or something, who knows? But then there's this ad, Chick-fil-A, for half off conversion therapy. It's like a little flipping. So yeah, I love the onion. I think what you have to do is like sign up because it's like a yearly subscription thing, but they just send you one per month, and I think it's fun. And yeah, I think that's it as far as my recommendations. What are we doing next week?
We're doing Uglies, right? Uglies, Megalopolis.
Whoa,
please somebody we sit through Megalopolis.
Maybe.
Are you sure you want to sit through the Uglies?
I can do it on my couch though. It's like so different.
That is a big one. When does the robot movie come out? Is that this week?
Wild Robot?
Yeah.
Oh, that comes out.
I don't know if
this week,
that's going to be a good movie for us, but it is a movie.
I mean, all the reviews say it's fantastic.
Yeah, so bad movie for us.
Yeah, it might be bad for us. That's why.
Which I just want to point everyone's attention to when we first got trailers for that. DJ was like, "Oh, that movie's going to be terrible."
Bro, the initial trailer for that movie versus the like updated trailer for that movie, it's like two different movies. If that was the initial trailer, I would have been like, "Oh, this thing's great."
Yeah, man, there's never been a successful movie where the first trailer makes it seem like it's just about a robot who doesn't talk in an isolated environment. There's never been anything like that that's ever succeeded.
This movie seems way different. It seems quite different.
Well, yeah, it does, but I'm just saying.
As I'm saying, you don't do the I didn't think doing the Wall-E thing again would have been like good. Less good. They nailed it.
I mean, you could just turn the volume off, and then you don't have to know what the robot says if it speaks.
Yeah.
You know?
See it, look at the duck, and be like, "Oh, that's a cool duck." And hopefully, it works out for that duck.
I don't know if it's going to work out for the duck.
I think it works out. Yeah.
We could do "Am I Racist?" the new Matt Walsh movie. I don't know if you guys saw that this exists.
Right.
I'm looking at the poster. This would be my tiebreaker for it. The tagline for that movie is "A comedy to die for," but "die" is crossed out, and then it's DEI. You get it? You get it? Because he's racist.
That's so funny.
It's like, I just saw the poster for your movie. I know. You spoiled it in the poster.
Oh, no, he killed Diggins.
What was the other thing? That Speak No Evil movie, I think, is out. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where James McAvoy's jacked again, but I don't know.
Oh, he's so handsome.
I think that would be a good podcast, but also I really don't want to see that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We got a couple of options. Maybe if people have like something they really want us to cover, they can let us know. DJ, do you have anything to plug for the fine people?
Check out Roses and Rejections. We are covering the Golden Bachelorette. We there's a guy on this season. His name is Jack, and he is from the Tim Robinson sketch. He's just there for the pool.
Oh, nice.
He's just there for the pool. They even had a guy said it. He's like, I think Jack's just here for the cannonballs. Like, he's pulled it right from Tim Robinson. So congrats to you, Tim. So check that out on the Pop Break Network. Diggins.
Nope. What about you, Nando?
We got some videos, some stuff about the new casting things for like Green Lantern, and they cast the villain in the Supergirl movie, and I think that guy's perfect. I think the Green Lantern one, we'll see. And then I've had videos about Agatha and stuff. And, you know, just all that stuff on my Nando V Movies and the Nando Cut channels. Next week, you know, we'll see. Maybe Megalopolis, maybe Uglies, maybe something else. Until then, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woo!